respect for that Ram defense. They say they're the best specialty defense in the NFL. Long yardage and passing situations. And Sam has got to be one of the most colorful coaches in the NFL. He and Bum Phillips, I think, are my favorites, Dick.
Came so very close to making it to the Super Bowl last year. Remember that heartbreaking loss against the Oakland Raiders in the frozen turf at Cleveland. And Ray Malavasi, he's had his problems this year. The fans a bit down on the head coach of the Rams, but he's rallied his troops, and they had a marvelous game Monday night at Chicago.
Well, he's a bulldog of a coach, a fine defensive coach who has had a hand in assembling this defense that's on the field today and has faced his problems rather gamely, but he has been hurt by them, and there's no question that he's lost ground with his own team.
The Browns have won the toss, wearing their brown jerseys and orange pants. They deploy to the right and will return the kickoff of Frank Corral. Cleotha Montgomery, number 24. Brother of Wilbert Montgomery, the sensational running back of the Philadelphia Eagles. And with him is Charles White, the former Heisman winner of University of Southern California, we talked about in the pregame show. Corral, both punter and place kicker for the Rams.
Corral had been nursing a groin injury early in the year, but is finally healthy and doing a fine job at both of those kicking chores.
Temperature in the mid-70s. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. We're pleased you've joined us. The Rams and the Browns. The winner moves about that 500 mark and right back in contention. In fact, perhaps in first place in their respective divisions. We'll get to the scores later. Of course, one of the kickoff returns by Tullis of Houston beat the Rams in the opener. It's to Montgomery, 1 yard deep. 10, 20, and down at the 23-yard line. Good coverage by the Rams. Jim Collins just activated by Los Angeles. The rookie made the tackle. The Browns take the field. Bryant, Sipe at the controls. White and Pruitt, two tough backs. They both like to catch the ball, as do these three players. Dave Logan with bad ribs, Reggie Rucker, the veteran, and tight end Ozzie Newsome. The offensive line for the Browns, and how well they protected Sipe. Deacon, a Pro Bowler for the first time last year. Robert E. Jackson, Tom DeLeon, Pro Bowler. Joe DeLamalure, and Cody Rising. From the 23. Rucker left, Logan right, Sipe on first down, back to pass, out of the backfield to Mike Pruitt. And he's near a first down at the 32-yard line. Defensively for the Los Angeles Rams. Front four, Jack Youngblood, and Malavasi says the veteran Youngblood perhaps playing his best football ever. Mike Fanning, Larry Brooks, Cody Jones. Jim Youngblood, Carl Eckern in the middle, and Joe Harris for the injured George Andrews at the right side linebacker position. Thomas and Perry at the corners, Cromwell and Johnson at safety. Some say that's the best four defensive backs in the National Football League. Pruitt with a first down at the 34. Carl Eckern made the hit, and the Browns have a new series of downs.
Carl Eckern starting at that middle linebacking position, and that's so important in the 4-3 defense. Watch the quick reaction. He jumped the ball a little bit. We'll watch him work to the outside, take on the blocker right in the hole, and then duck inside to take Mike Pruitt down. Excellent play, excellent reactions by Carl Eckern.
And for Pruitt, the leading rusher for the Browns this year, as he was last season, 229 yards coming in. It gives Sipe a first down with which to play. From the 34, White's first carry gets him only a yard. Tough defense on that left side as Youngblood and Fanning shoulder to shoulder to make the stop.
Rams thought they had that football. Pat Thomas, number 27, picking it up and breaking to the outside, but the whistle had blown. The ball was blown dead. Charles White carrying the ball. We talked about his addition to this Cleveland offense. He is a fine runner, able to do everything, but he is running into a couple of pretty tough customers there. 79 Mike Fanning, 85 Jack Youngblood over there. Rams have had some trouble against the run this year. Traditionally they've been tough, but they've been hurt on the ground this year. Cleveland would like to hurt them early on the ground to help to make their pass offense more effective.
Ozzie Newsome goes out of the lineup for the Browns. You could see with somewhat of a surprise, Newsome said, "You want me to go out?" Indeed, that's the case. Ricky Beecher comes in.
Maybe he's going to catch one on the sideline. He catches the ball over the field.
Catch the entire Orange County area, give him a chance. He threw that one away. Sipe had only White in the area, and he was well covered by both Johnson and Perry, besides Joe Harris on a blitz 51, putting pressure on Sipe.
The Rams very effective at confounding the quarterback, and they'll bring a lot of people in there. Joe Harris coming very quick on that last play.
third down efficiency by the defense has been remarkable, Merlin.
These two teams have got to be the lowest in the NFL, or at least I haven't seen any lower. 23.3 for Cleveland. Give you an idea what that means. Last week against a tough Atlanta team, there were 11 third down opportunities. Atlanta did not complete a single one of those opportunities.
3rd and 9. Greg Pruitt in motion, number 34. Sipe likes to go to him. Almost intercepted by Nolan Cromwell. The pass intended for Greg Pruitt, and Cromwell, as he made contact with the pass receiver, lost the football. Had a good shot at the intercept.
Good defensive backs think they own that football in the air. Nolan Cromwell here is a receiver. He's not a defensive back. Look at his concentration on that ball. Had Pruitt not hit him just as that ball arrived, there would have been an interception there.
Leroy Irvin, who returned to punt 55 yards for a touchdown Monday night against the Bears, is deep, along with Drew Hill. Steve Cox, the rookie punter. Oh, he scuffed that one.
Yep.
And it's going to kick just out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So Steve Cox, averaging 43 yards a punt, looked as if he stubbed his toe as he went to make contact. Pat Haden takes the Rams offense onto the field. Wendell Tyler and Cullen Bryant. That's the speed and the bulk in the backfield with him. Preston Denard and Billy Waddy. Waddy the fastest on the outside. Tight end Henry Childs. Irv Hankey on the left side for Doug France, still bothered by his shoulder. Doug Smith for Kent Hill. There's a story there. We'll develop it. Grinch Saul is at center. Pro Bowler 5 straight years. Hara and Slater on the right side. Slater playing with a banged-up knee. Haden, like Sipe, throws on first down to Tyler on a screen. He's got blockers. 40. And he's fumbles the ball. And the Browns have it at the 46-yard line. And that nemesis for the Rams and Tyler, the fumble, comes up to bite him on their very first play from scrimmage. Tom Darton picked up the loose ball.
The knock on Wendell Tyler is that he will cough it up in those critical situations. Watch how they'll carry this football when he gets into the open field. Like a loaf of bread in that right hand. Tyler has got to learn to cover that football. Just takes a shot right there. Bam Bam Ambrose, number 52, the man who put his helmet into that football. And Cleveland has the first opportunity on that turnover. Let's see what Brian Sipe can do with it.
From just outside the Ram 45. Sipe has Logan bottom of your screen out of the picture and Rucker top of the screen. This is Charles White with a block. And he slips down at the 39-yard line. Nolan Cromwell made the contact. White just said one thing different about coming back as a pro to Southern California. I know I'm not going to get the ball as much as I did last time. Of course, he was alluding to that great Rose Bowl appearance a couple of years ago when he almost single-handedly on that final drive beat the Ohio State Buckeyes.
That was a tremendous day. Those of us who were there or those who watched it on television certainly have a place to remember that one.
2nd and 2 on the Ram 37. Mike Pruitt stopped right at the 35-yard line, but has the first down. Joe Harris from Georgia Tech for the injured George Andrews with a tackle. First down, Cleveland.
Mike Pruitt strained a hamstring a couple of weeks ago. They had it tightly wrapped as I talked to him in the locker room before the game. Was worried that he might have a few problems today. Certainly didn't have any problem in blowing up there for that first down.
No score first quarter here in Anaheim. We've played 4 minutes. The Browns trying to convert. The fumble by Tyler. They have a first down inside the Ram 35. Charles White. Turn the corner, gets only a yard. Good defense by the Rams. Pat Thomas came up from the corner to make the tackle.
One of the tests of a good defense is their ability to pursue. And one of the things that the Rams have behind the line of scrimmage is excellent speed. There were 4 Rams waiting for White when he turned the corner. Pat Thomas able to turn it in from the corner position with a good force. And of course, the result is a very shallow game.
You saw that visual, his sweetness. Walter Payton found that Ram defense iron tough last Monday night. Newsom split left. Ricky Feature slotted right. Rucker far right. That's Greg Pruitt in motion. And Pruitt on a draw. Right Pruitt. Last ball right to the 18-yard line. First down, Cleveland.
with Bryant, Sipe, and Pruitt just crossed them up. Blows right up through the middle. The Rams coming on the pass rush, obviously, and Pruitt doing a fine job, taking a real shot there from Nolan Cromwell and Johnny Johnson, but able to get them down inside that 20-yard line.
Pruitt's Drew, and you can say that with a plural when you talk about Cleveland. You've got Greg Pruitt, who is now a primary pass receiver, and Mike Pruitt, who just picked up 15 yards. And it's Mike Pruitt again, running right over Cromwell at the 10-yard line. That'll make it 2nd and 1. Ooh, he's got speed and he has power. So the Browns are to the Ram 10-yard line as they threaten to score early here in Anaheim. Let's go now to Bryant Gumbel in New York.
Okay, Dick, before heading for the bus, the Colts have put one last touchdown on the board, or so it would seem. This one, 14 yards, Burt Jones to Ray Butler, and it cuts the score to 23-17. There's less than a minute left. Looks like the Bills are going to go to 3-2. Dick?
Thank you, Bryant. And here the Browns trying to draw first blood in Anaheim. They have it 2nd and 1. Outside toss, and Pruitt caught in the backfield. Run through 2 tackles, but he's held up enough so that the Rams faced a 3-yard deficit on the Browns. Carl Eckern, number 55, made the play. So that changes the strategy of Sam Rutigliano. It was 2nd and 1. Now it's 3rd and 4.
One of the characteristics of this Ram team is that they will throw the blitz at you. They were coming with a blitz on that play. They guessed right. Cody Jones driving quickly outside was the first man to get to the ball carrier, and then Nolan Cromwell came in to help him finish it up. Ray Malavasi there obviously pleased with that play, but not pleased at the penetration this early in the game by that Cleveland offense.
Feature slotted right, Rucker way out to the right side, and Logan to the left. They like to throw that alley-oop to Logan. And a whistle, no play.
Logan may not get as many balls today, though. He's playing with a broken rib. And talked to him earlier, and he said he has not been able to sleep in a prone position all week. He's been sleeping in a chair. That's got to take its toll on you.
Delay offense.
So 5 yards against the Browns, and that sends them farther away from those uprights should they fail on this 3rd down. And they have had their problems. David Jacobs has made only 3 of 10 field goals this year. In fact, there were strong rumors along the banks of Lake Erie that Jacobs would be replaced as the Browns kicker, and this may well be his NFL life, at least immediately, what he does today.
Maybe hanging on the end of the streak today.
3rd and 9. Sipe deep for Rucker, and out of bounds. It appeared that Sipe deep threw the ball. Harris had him, and the pass went awry. So here comes the Cleveland Browns field goal unit. But first we go to New York.
Okay, Dick, on their first possession in the Orange Bowl, the Jets have put one up on the board against the Dolphins. Richard Todd, 15 yards to Jerome Barkham, point after is good. The Jets out in front of the Dolphins, 7-0. Dick?
The Jets, that amazing record, Bryant. They've won 6 straight times against the Dolphins. Here's Jacobs trying from 35 yards. The Browns trying to take the early lead here in Anaheim. Paul McDonald to hold. And it is good. Oh, my. That was a low-line drive that just did skid over the crossbar. And the Browns take the lead 3-0.
You can almost feel a sigh of relief from that young man. He got a real break, kicked that very low, really ripped into the ball, and had any of the defensive linemen had their hands in the air, it probably would have been blocked. Give you a chance to look at it. He's not happy with it either. Watch how low this kick goes out. There it is, just a low line driver, just managed to clear the bar. You get an idea of what's going on in his head, though, looking back at the kicker. Now watch Jacobs. He's boy. Whoa.
That's like the hitter who says, I know it wasn't a line drive, but those bloopers count on the batting average, too. So the Browns lead 3-0 as they convert the fumble recovery, a couple of first downs, and the 35-yard field goal. Drew Hill, solo safety for the Rams, as Cox will tee it up. This young man from Arkansas has been really rooting the ball on kickoffs. In fact, he's averaged 3 yards into the end zone on each of his kickoffs this year. High and end over end. This one will be shy of that goal line. 4-yard line to Hill. He's got some running room over there. And good pursuit on the far side by Ron Bolton to knock him out of bounds. We welcome those fans who have been enjoying the first half of this NBC doubleheader as Buffalo has defeated Baltimore 23-17. And watching and listening Phil Stone and Gene Washington in Buffalo. This is Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen in Anaheim, California. The Browns have taken an early 3-0 lead on a 35-yard field goal by David Jacobs. Ensuing kickoff, and it's Haden running the attack for the Rams. Wendell Tyler fighting his way to the 26-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 7. We're midpoint first quarter, 7 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this first period.
This Cleveland defense, Dick, got off to a bad start. Gave up 44 points against the San Diego Chargers and really had to rethink their situation. Decided that they were being a little too complicated. You look at the defensive lineup. They're good. Jackson, Ambrose, and Matthews. Those linebackers probably the strength of this defense. Bolton, Dixon, Dart, Scott, defensive backfield.
2nd and 7. It's Tyler again. Gets to the 30-yard line, picking his way short of the first down, however. It'll be about 3rd and 3. He did some nice running inside there. A lot of traffic.
Sometimes those are the toughest yards. You say 3-yard run, 4-yard run. Some of those runs are the most artful and the most difficult for these backs. This is a good defense. I was talking about what they have done in the past 3 weeks. They really have brought themselves back from a disastrous beginning and have moved steadily up in the rankings. They're 5th in the AFC in total defense right now. And if they can keep playing this kind of defense, they really begin to help that offensive unit that's had so much pressure on them over the past few years.
Passing on 3rd and 2 is Haden. And he has the first down to his tight end Henry Childs out at the 37-yard line. Robert L. Jackson, Elvis, linebacker, made the tackle.
Linebackers are really hybrids. They must play the run, but they also must play the pass. Robert L. Jackson is the emotional leader of this Cleveland defense. Watch him moving back into his zone, clamps up tight on Henry Childs, and Childs just uses his body like a basketball player to keep him away from it. That's an interesting shot.
It was like a battle in the pivot.
It surely was. Jackson's got hand problems right now. A couple of fingers bent up.
Haden all day to search out.
Roar of approval from these fans who have not been very kind to Pat Haden here in the first few ball games. Haden, as we said, off to a rocky start, finally got himself on track, but that's understandable, Dick. He had missed all of last season, of course, playing behind the now departed Vince Ferragamo. But Haden had to get himself back into gear. He appears to have done that.
Out of a tight formation with Denard in motion. And a toss to Tyler. Breaks a tackle. Back to the line of scrimmage. Clay Matthews unable to bring him down, but certainly slowed down the progress of Tyler until help came.
Matthews, another one of those players out of SC who is returning home to play in front of some home folks today and has really come on in that defensive secondary, that defensive linebacking core for the Cleveland Browns. They had high hopes for him, drafted him #1, and he did not make the adjustment as rapidly as they had hoped, but is now playing just excellent football for the Browns.
Matthews, number 57. Familiar name. His daddy was an NFL player with the 49ers in the 50s. Haden hit as he throws. By Billy Waddy. First down, Los Angeles at the 25 of Cleveland.
Jackson and Denard going after each other a bit down there. Chance to watch Pat Haden being patient in the pocket, and that's so important for a quarterback. Look at him, eyeballing his receivers, sifting a little bit to get a little extra time, and that is a fine catch by Waddy. Went up high in the air. Jackson, the man who finally ended up doing a little shoving and pushing back there right at the end of it, puts a clinching tackle and a few knees into Waddy. I can see why Waddy got up a little upset, but that's good football.
Haden off to a grand start. He's 4 for 4. Cullen Bryant, first carry of the day, gets him about 3 yards down to the 22-yard line.
Doug Smith starting today in favor of this man, Kent Hill, who was benched by Brad Ratkovich, the offensive line coach of the Rams. Doug, a fine player, but there were many wondering why such a radical move would be made against Hill, who had not played that badly, but admittedly had not been quite as sharp as he should have been on his pass protection. I think perhaps just a move to shake up that offensive line, Dick.
I think you're right. Hill was a Pro Bowler last year. Smith, a free agent out of Bowling Green. Tyler stumbled as he took the handoff, but still burrows his way down to about the 17-yard line. The infield here at Anaheim Stadium has not been resodded, but the Rams will be on the road each of the next 3 Sundays, so that'll give the groundskeeping crew here a month to get the grass to grow.
And oh, how I hated to play on that dirt. And these players, if they go down hard on it, will have that same feeling. It's not only abrasive, but it's hard as rock. And it just tears your elbows up, tears your knees up. A nasty part of the game. Every time I went into a stadium and saw that infield open like that, I cringed.
And especially here with all this sun of the summer, very hard. Tyler finds a little hole, flag down, as Tyler appears to have the first down if the penalty is not against Ray Malavasi's Rams. It's against the Browns, apparently, so it will be a first down Los Angeles. Sam Rutigliano, his team offside.
Well, the record of shutting down Atlanta last week on those third downs, not quite on pace today.
Encroachment, defense, first down.
That's the second time that the Rams have made good on this drive on third down. And with a 3-0 Cleveland lead, 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, the Rams deep in Browns territory.
You saw a shot of Sam Rutigliano on the sideline. The one thing that I like that he does so well is to let his team know he has confidence in them. And he's doing that with his defense right now, saying, hey, come on, you can stop him.
Wide split of the backs and Haden to throw. Quick out, it's complete to Denard. And a flag goes down, apparently a late hit by Hanford Dixon, number 29, the top draft pick of the Browns out of southern Mississippi.
One of the knocks against Haden in the past has been that because of his size and because of the fact that he does not have great velocity as a thrower, he cannot throw some of those zipping passes, but he sure puts some snap on that one. Chance for you to see it at home. Now watch Pat Haden. This is a little out pattern. Watch the zip he puts on that football. Right into the hands of an open Denard. Hanford Dixon right there.
First down.
Tough to see what Dixon did. He just gave him a little push.
He may have been completely out of bounds. Hard to see from that angle. May have been so far out that they called him for that.
Half the distance to the goal line on the personal foul, so Pat Haden ducks his head in the huddle with first and goal at the 2-yard line. Dan Pastorini, new member of the Los Angeles Rams, signed by them last week. Has yet to see any duty. Haden made that for certain with his play Monday night in Chicago. It's Tyler for the touchdown.
Interesting. That'll cost him. They fine him for that now. You can't give away those footballs like you used to. And there's a happy lady. Not only happy that the Rams have scored. Well, maybe she's a Brown fan. She's sitting behind one of those Browns banners. There's another happy man, Pat Haden.
That was a well-engineered drive by Haden and the Rams, and Tyler scores his 5th touchdown of this season rushing.
Well, as much as you hate to see Tyler drop the football, and it was his fumble that set up the three-pointer for Cleveland, he certainly is an exciting player, and he proves it here.
And Corral tacks on the extra point, and the Rams lead for the first time, 7-3. We played 1 minute and 48 seconds. That's 1:48 left in the first quarter. The Los Angeles Rams 7, the Cleveland Browns 3. So Wendell Tyler caps a 77-yard drive. It took 10 plays. Tyler's 2-yard run makes it 7-3 Los Angeles, a 6-minute drive, and Pat Haden was a perfect 5 for 5 in that run. Corral to kick it off. At the other end, Montgomery and White. It'll be Cleota Montgomery. And he's going to run it out deep from his own end zone. And does get it out to the 22-yard line. So a 27-yard return of kickoff by Cleota Montgomery from Abilene Christian. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Ram, the offensive line, doing a fine job of ripping a hole in the left side of that, on the right side of the Cleveland defense. And Tyler, who is so explosive as a runner, just fires himself like a projectile into that end zone.
7-3 Los Angeles. 1:38 left. First quarter. Feature far left. Rucker now in the slot to the left. Inside, loves to throw. Out of the backfield, a one-handed catch. Mike Pruitt out across the 25-yard line. Johnny Johnson and Jim Youngblood collaborated on the stop. From Anaheim, let's go to New York and Bryant.
Dick, in Minnesota, the Bears have missed a chance to go to overtime with the Vikings with 1 second left. Hans Nielsen pulls it left from the 26. The Vikings turn back the Bears 24-21. Dick?
So the Vikings victorious, and for the Bears, it was a outstanding rally on their part, but they fall short with a chance to tie. 7-3, Los Angeles here in Anaheim Stadium. Final minute, first quarter. Big hole for White, but it closes in a hurry. Joe Harris down around the ankles to trip him up just when it appeared White was going to skip to the outside.
You've seen Mike Pruitt carry the football. He also must be a blocker at times. Now watch him as he goes after number 51, Joe Harris. Harris will get the better of this shot right here. Takes him on with his shoulder and then gets a piece of White, knocks him down to the ground. Good job by the linebacker, meeting the block in the hole. And on that particular occasion, Harris got the better of it.
Charles White goes out, and Greg Pruitt is in the backfield now, joining Mike Pruitt. They're not related, as you all well know. A widespread offense for Sipe on 3rd and 4. Out of the backfield, Mike Pruitt. And he has a first down, but a flag is down. Ball goes out of bounds about the 39-yard line, but a flag drop where you might suspect holding against the Browns. It is, and that'll bring it back. While they mark off the penalty, a chance to bring you up to date on all the rest of the National Football League action today. Now we're going to wait until the second quarter. We're right down to the 10-second mark here, and Sam Retigliano doesn't like this announcement.
63, holding.
Cody Rice. Yeah, Cody's working on Jack Youngblood, and Sam Retigliano a little worried about that matchup. Certainly proud of his offensive line. In fact, if you asked Sam about the strength of this Cleveland team, he'll tell you the strongest part of our team is our offensive line. Not greatly talented individually, but they play so well together. They really are a great unit.
Now 3rd and 14. We'll see if the Rams bring a linebacker. They like to use that. Yes, they're coming with Harris. Picked off nicely and deep. Feature. All the way to the 44-yard line. Lucky Feature. And Sipe laid it out there beautifully.
Talking to Brian Sipe yesterday, talked about the fact that the Rams would be trying to shut off some of the short passing, close passing. He said, I'm going to have to go deep. He certainly did it there and did a fine job of it.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Rams 7, Browns 3. We open the second quarter, 7-3 Los Angeles. Here's that 48-yard pass play, Sipe to Feature.
They say Sipe doesn't have a strong arm either, but he certainly had plenty of arm for this throw to Ricky Feature, and Feature timed that so beautifully. Took a couple of shallow steps and then extended himself, kept Pat Thomas right on his heels. Thomas hurt himself a little on that play and had to come out.
So it's first down at the Ram 34 as we open the second quarter. 7-3, the Browns trail. Sipe going to go long and has a man open. Rucker. It's complete at the 11-yard line. It was a wobbler. That pass floating out there like, what do you call those in practice? I know you sound quack, quack, quack when
you can't quack on a completion like that. And again, Sipe will surprise you because occasionally he'll throw what looks to be a bad pass, and yet who cares whether the thing spirals or not. The ball thrown where it must be thrown when a receiver is covered has to drop down inside. We saw Cody Reason get ticketed for a holding penalty a short while ago. He's got his hands full with Youngblood, but he did a fine job that time pushing Jack by and then thumping on him a little bit to add a little insult to it.
Sipe now 4 for 7 at the 11-yard line. It's Mike Pruitt. He gets a couple 3 yards to about the 7. Larry Brooks from Virginia State, Petersburg, and Carl Eckert from San Jose State, the tacklers for the Rams. Let's run down the other scores in the National Football League today.
Second and 6.
It was New England's first win of the year as they defeated the Chiefs 33-17. Buffalo and Baltimore. Buffalo beats the Colts. St. Louis defeats Dallas. The first loss for the Cowboys this year. You think the Eagles, watching at home, weren't interested in that one. They play tomorrow night. Sipe right. The quick out to Rucker. He gets a push from Rod Perry, but no flag. Another score. Minnesota holds off the Bears, who had a chance to tie with a field goal in the final seconds. San Francisco now 3-2. The 49ers win at Washington. The Redskins looking for their first victory are 0-5. Green Bay upsets New York. The Giants in New York 27-14 for the Packers. Those are the finals. Dave Jacobs on the sidelines tuning up. It is third. Call it a long 5. Rams were offside. Were they drawn offside?
Yes. Yeah, it looked like Cody Reason again. Cody Reason again. He banging his hands on his hips. I think he got up a little early.
That's right. So Charles White gets the play call from Rutigliano. And Greg Pruitt will go out as Charles White replaces him.
Ball starts, number 63.
Referee Fred Wyant with a call. And now it's third and about 11 for Brian Sipe at the Ram 12-yard line.
Those yards are so precious down inside that 10-yard line. That's an awfully bad place to get a penalty.
It does give him a little more real estate with which to work, but maybe that's being a bit too much of a Pollyanna. Sipe play action and going deep for Feature. Marvelous try by Feature. And Sipe had the ball out there, but Feature unable to make the diving catch away from Rod Perry, 49 of the Rams.
Two of the best athletes on this Ram team are at those cornerback positions, Rod Perry and Pat Thomas. And Perry, number 49, again, a very small man. In fact, both corners about 5'7". Perry staying man-to-man with Feature all the way and absolutely refusing to give him any room at all. Feature almost made a fantastic catch. Now we got the young kicker Dave Jacobs out there. I saw him before the game. He was so nervous even then he could hardly even talk. Let's see if he can get this one through the uprights.
Remember, the last one was low. The Rams saw that too, and they blocked it. It's a free ball. Eckern picks it up and is tackled at the 45-yard line. The Rams block Jacobs the third time he's had a kick block this year. You just can't kick them that low. Looked like Johnny Johnson, Merlin, got in on him.
No, it did. But again, it takes a long time getting that ball off. Johnson streaking from the right side, number 20, hit that ball solidly, knocked it about 35 yards.
Well, that's like a projectile, Johnson. We'll see it again.
In New York, down at the Orange Bowl, the Jets have gone back ahead of the Dolphins. Richard Todd throwing his 8th touchdown pass of the year to Wesley Walker. It's good for 9 yards. Jets in front, 14-7. Let's go back to Dick and Merlin in Anaheim.
Here's that blocked field goal by the Rams.
And watch number 20, Johnny Johnson, just diving and leaning all the way out. I think that ball would have been between the uprights. Certainly not a bad kick, but slow. And the other angle again. Boy, that's such a pretty play by the second-year safety.
Johnny Johnson blocks the field goal. The Rams take over at their own 45. Cullen Bryant. And he blasts his way all the way to Cleveland 47. And emotionally, to have a team drive all the way downfield as did Cleveland, only to have the field goal rejected, has to really turn the emotions of this game.
I saw a big smile from number 20, Johnny Johnson. One of the things that's so impressive about him, he's a safety, and yet he has the speed of a cornerback. In fact, every day in practice works at cornerback, and that's one of the reasons that the Rams have so much flexibility in their defensive secondary.
Leading 7-3, the Rams in Browns territory. This is Bryant, and he has a first down at the 42-yard line. The Rams have been able to run left rather effectively here in the first half.
One of the reasons that they're being effective is because of the blocking of their offensive line. We showed you Doug Smith a little earlier, number 56. He was one of the men responsible. You'll see it right here as he pulls out, slides over, blocks on Lyle Alzado, allows the tackle to go outside. You see him locking up number 77, Alzado, to give some room to number 32, Cullen Bryant.
Meanwhile, we hear from the Rams bench that Pat Thomas, the star cornerback for the Rams, will not return. He has a severe hamstring pull. Haden guns and overshoots Willie Miller on the near sideline.
We have another penalty flag. It appeared to be a holding call, Dick. No, not
Dennis Harris did. Might have been a head slap.
Could have been a head slap, maybe a face mask. Pat Thomas, they say with that hamstring pull, I wondered why he was so slow catching up on that play. He may have pulled it earlier on that play, Dick.
15-yard mark off against the Browns down to the 27-yard line.
Personal foul, necessary roughness, number 77. First down.
Lyle Alzado, the veteran from Yankton, South Dakota, penalized. The Rams, who are one of the most penalized teams in the NFL, yet to be ticketed, and the Browns have had 6 flags already.
Let's see if we can see what Alzado did to earn himself that penalty. There it is, going right to the face mask with the hand. And of course, anything with a helmet is illegal.
Wendell Tyler ducking through a hole. 35-yard line. Nothing but Browns jerseys around. And of course, once you have the reputation of being a fumbler, everyone who tackles you is not only thinking about bringing you down, but getting the ball free.
One of the problems that Tyler has is that running to his left, he'll try and hold that ball in his left hand. And he had a severely broken wrist on that left-hand side, and his hand is just not strong enough to properly hold that ball. You see him trying to control the ball there, but that's 91. That's Bradley. Henry Bradley, the nose tackle, got in there and slapped that ball away from him. He's lucky to get back on top of it.
And picked up a little over 2 yards in the process. Denard in motion. Haden, great protection. Now scrambling. And first and goal, Los Angeles.
Fine response from Waddy, his quarterback, having a little trouble running to the outside. Now you've got to come back to your quarterback. Watch Waddy. Haden put some zip on this ball, but if Waddy doesn't come back to it, it's a probable interception. Here he is coming back to the football. That's number 28. Ron Bolt thought he had himself an interception until Waddy picked it out of the air.
Hanford Dixon made the tackle. First and goal, 6-yard line. It was a 19-yard pass. Wendell Tyler gets 1 yard. It'll be second and goal at the 2. Other partial scores, 14-10, Houston leading Cincinnati. That score has bearing on this particular contest.
Number 26, Tyler again. You get an idea of how quickly he accelerates. Look at that read. Snaps into that hole and then just projects himself in there for an extra couple of yards. An exciting player. I'll tell you, being a teammate of his on the sideline and watching that ball bounce around has to make you a little nervous. It's a different kind of excitement.
Oh, yeah. Playing for it. From inside the 2, second down. Haden's going to throw for it and has Tyler for the touchdown.
We said Pat Haden was back on stride. He just hasn't made many mistakes at all here in this ball game. We showed you a pass similar to that in our pregame. Said that he'd be looking for his leading receiver and runner, Wendell Tyler. Well, he certainly found him there in the end zone. 7 points. Ray Malavasi obviously pleased, as is Pat Haden. Our Ram team looks to have things going their way today.
Corral, extra point try is good. Flag is down. Let's check that. Haden, by the way, is 7 for 7 in this game. He's not missed a pass, and the Rams apparently guilty of the foul, and if so, they'll have to kick that extra point try again. Illegal use of the hands. So Corral's going to have a little longer shot at adding the extra point. To complete the other partial scores, we told you Houston 14, Cincinnati 10 in the 4th. It is Pittsburgh 20, New Orleans 6 in the 4th. Jets lead Miami 14-7 in the 1st. Detroit leads Tampa Bay 10-0 in the 1st quarter, and Denver, Oakland, no score. Pat Haden, handsome Rhodes Scholar from the University of Southern California.
Number 54.
Kick an extra point that would amount to about a 30-yard field goal. And same result, with a little longer distance. So timeout here at Anaheim Stadium with 10 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first half. The Los Angeles Rams have moved to a 14-3 lead. I just want to know if you wear 74 on your outfit as Father Murphy.
No, I hadn't seen that poster before. It's some nice artwork.
There's some nice people in that series, and it's going to debut when on NBC?
On November 3rd. That's a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. We're excited about that.
Yeah, so are the critics. The early reviews have been outstanding. Father Murphy starring Merlin Olsen. Leota Montgomery with Corral's kickoff, and he's down around the 25-yard line. So the Browns, trailing 14-3, will put it in play from their 24. First to New York and Brian Gumble.
Dick, down at the Orange Bowl, a Miami drive has ended without a score. Uwe von Schaumburg hitting the upright from 45 yards out. David Woodley has had to leave the ball game after taking a shot to the ribs. We'll keep you updated. 14-7. Dick?
Well, you never like to hear that kind of news. David Woodley to the sidelines after being crushed under a tackle.
They are fortunate to have Don Strock on the sideline, who's a fine quarterback and has the confidence of Don Shula.
Sipe says the key to not being injured, although he's not a very big man, is he throws the ball and goes limp, he says, and just takes whatever's coming. Charles White, he had it coming to him. Two hard-charging Rams. Flashing through is Joe Harris, playing for George Andrews, and very well, thank you, and Johnny Johnson, the block field goal man.
We talked about Johnson's speed earlier. Second-year safety. Watch the quick force here. Comes right up inside, and he is one-on-one on Charles White. Johnny Johnson certainly got the best of it there. Knocked him down for a 1-yard loss. And that's so good to see a safety who is not terribly big, willing to get up there and stick his nose in there. He certainly has come a long ways in a year and a half and has earned the respect of coaches and players throughout the league.
American from Texas. Greg Pruitt in motion. 2nd and 11. The draw to Pruitt. Mike Pruitt. And he gets only to about the 27-yard line, a gain of about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 7. Joe Harris again made the tackle. Talking about quarterbacks taking hits, Pat Haden, who took a vicious lick against the Packers a couple of weeks ago, and everyone feared that he might be out for a few weeks, yet came right back to play against Chicago. What did he tell you? That the impact was so great that it didn't break him up.
Broke his shoulder pads. He was wearing pads on his ribs and shoulder pads at the time, and went right through the rib pads, broke his shoulder pads. He said, if I hadn't had the rib pads on, I would have had broken ribs.
Well, that's some kind of collision. 3rd and 7 for Sipe. He's going long for Rucker, out of bounds. Rucker did all he could to keep those toenails in bounds in front of Ray Malavasi, but the pass was too far to the sideline. So the Browns will have to give up the ball as the punting team comes in.
Bryant Sipe, Dick, is a timing quarterback. Now watch his feet. He'll go back. He'll take the quick 5-step drop, set up at about 7 yards, and that ball is in the air. That's about a 2.5-second pattern, and he is throwing to a spot on the field. Yeah, he's got to get up in the air to look over the top of those linemen. We said he was small, but he's a big package of dynamite when it comes to throwing that football.
And a fine athlete all of his life. On the Little League World Championship as a 12-year-old. Beautiful kick by Cox. Leroy Irvin. Fair catches at the Ram 23-yard line. We're in the second quarter in Anaheim Stadium. 8 minutes and 12 seconds before the half, and the Rams have the ball and the lead, 14-3.
This is Bryant Gumbel in New York. Out in Oakland, the Broncos have put the first points up on the board against the Raiders. This is Dave Preston doing the honors from 4 yards out. Point after is good. Bronx lead the Raiders 7-0 in the second. Let's go back to Anaheim.
70,000, a sellout at Anaheim Stadium, and some Cleveland Browns fans here. Well, you wouldn't see all those signs if the Rams were in Cleveland for the Rams, would you? But it's a little different here in Southern California, where so many Midwesterners have migrated, not lost their allegiance. Cullen Bryant gets only a yard, a tough yard to the 24.
Kent Hill, number 72. We said he'd been benched. He's now in the ball game. Big man who just is going to take a pull here. He's one of the quickest big men in the NFL. Trying to get to that nose man, number 91. Henry Bradley did not do a great job on that play, but I think that's about the toughest block for an offensive guard to make. Has to slide clear across and get all the way on the other side of that nose man's legs.
Tyler with 2 touchdowns, 1 on a pass reception in the backfield. Drew Hill in motion. Haden looking for Hill. He's covered well. Now down the middle. Overshot
3, stayed in to help block on that play and led Pat around that right end. I thought for a minute he was going to run the football. Looked like he could have had the first down, but obviously the easy shot was the throw, and he's sorry he threw it a little too long.
Meanwhile, Vitigliano and Sipe masterminding on the Browns sideline. That was the first miss by Haden. 7 for 8 in the game. And he now comes in with 3 wide receivers. Denard far left, Waddy slotted left, and Willie Miller's to the right side. On the quick count. Eludes the rush. Now he's got some running room, and he's going to pick up the first down and more to the 40-yard line. Made by Curtis Weathers, number 55. 16 yards for Pat Haden.
I gave you a look earlier at the feet of Bryant's sight. Here's a shot of Haden. He's just a little nervous. Well, I can understand why. That was Marshall Harris, number 90. Now he's motoring. Slides in safe. Gets a little shot there. Ouch. That hurt.
Haden, who had 16 yards rushing in the first 4 games, matched that total with that scamper.
Not bad for a little quarterback.
Cullen Bryant. Not bad for a big fullback. Almost 10 yards to midfield.
You stand up close to Cullen Bryant, you would not believe that he is a running back. He probably has the finest physique of any of these Ram players, perhaps with the exception of Kent Hill, but still lifts weights during the season 3 times a week and has just tremendous arms. He is one awesome physical specimen.
And it sounds ridiculous, but he really does have arms as big as some men's legs.
Yes, he does.
2nd and 1. Haden had down with which to play. And his receiver, Denard, had slipped along the near sidelines.
The second tight end, Walt Arnold goes in. That's what you call a throwaway down. Rams confident that they could pick up the first. Wanted to get some yardage, knowing that Cleveland would have to respect the short yardage situation. But obviously missed their communication somewhere.
It's 3rd and 1. Browns offensive line along the near sidelines.
Cody Risen probably reflecting on a couple of problems he's had early in this ball game.
Tyler going outside.
Ooh, he's not there. I don't believe he's there, Dick. He's got to get all the way to the 50, and it looked like he went down just inside of it.
That's right. They are marking it shy of the 50-yard line. You saw Wendell try to lurch out and place the ball at the 50, but the linesman marks it short. So they wasted the down 2nd and 1, and here it is again.
Malavasi with an interesting decision to make, says we're going to go for it. But watch Tyler. He gets trapped to the outside, lunges, but there's no way that he made that. That ball came down well short of the line. Well, Ray changes his mind now.
I think that's wise. Leading 14-3, you don't want to give the Browns a chance here. If they should stop the Rams to have midfield and momentum with the punt, you place the Browns deep in their own territory.
You want to play smart football. And obviously, the percentage game is to kick the ball away and make them earn their points. Don't give them anything cheap.
Montgomery at the 10. Corral will kick from around his own 40. Too thin, and that's going to come up all the way to the 26-yard line, the Browns. So they get good field position at the 26 with a timeout in Anaheim.
You're looking at rust close-up. It's already breeding, building up inside a car radiator after just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze. But look at a radiator protected with new improved Prestone 2. Quite a difference. Introducing advanced silicone silicate formula Prestone to lock out rust and corrosion in all metals. And now it's even stronger for better aluminum protection. New Prestone 2, the bestseller just got better.
the bouncing ball next Sunday on NBC Sports.
Sunny and cool in Southern California. A crowd of around 70,000 is still out at Anaheim Stadium, and they've seen their Rams lead 14-3. First down has been kind to both sides, averaging over 6 yards on first down.
Those percentages of first downs almost reversed to what these teams have done over the first part of this season.
Cleveland trailing 14-3 from their own 26.5. Sipe, play action to White, and going to Newsom for the first time, and a first down at the 45. 18 yards for the Browns.
We talked about Ozzie Newsom, and he certainly is an exciting player. The inside, able to get deep, and reading the defense well, breaks to the outside. Johnson, who's assigned to cover him most of the time one-on-one, just unable to get up there in time, and that's a perfect strike from number 17, Bryant Sipe. Fine first down play.
From the 45, the Browns trailing 14-3. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left in this first half. Sipe's first receiver covered, now scrambling, and Pruitt near enough to Mike Pruitt that they'll call that an incomplete pass. He was well covered by Tim Youngblood.
Well, as my friend John Brody would say, good play. You don't take the sack on that one, and you throw it away because you know you've got a couple more downs to pick the first down up.
Ray Malavasi on the sidelines. He was an assistant coach at West Point under Red Blake, worked with the great Vince Lombardi. Ray now 50 years of age, his 4th year. He was, as an assistant coach of the Rams when you were a player, Merlin, he was really the fire-em-up guy, wasn't he? The pep talk, always charging, even in practice.
He certainly was, and I think the finest defensive coach I ever played for.
2nd and 10. The give is to Greg Pruitt. Ooh, almost worked his way into the clear to the 48-yard line. Pruitt, who has not gotten the call as a runner much this year, and the Browns trying to cross him up.
Marty Schottenheimer has his whole defensive team on the sideline over there. You see the man with the glasses in the center. He is the defensive coordinator, and he is saying to his troops, we can't give up that many points and expect to win this ball game.
It's amazing how when the defense is on the sidelines off, they don't even know what the offense is doing, and vice versa. 3rd and 3 for Cleveland. Sipe's going to throw for it. Going deep and incomplete to Rucker along the sidelines. Well covered by Leroy Irvin. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KWWL TV, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids.
So the Browns apparently will give up the football, but those of you who followed the Browns through the years know that Rutigliano likes to gamble occasionally. Steve Cox would kick from around his 42 with Irvin at the Ram 10, along with Drew Hill. Cox is going to kick. Roots it high. And into the end zone for the touchback. So the Rams will play it from their 20-yard line when we return. There's just 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. It's the Rams 14, the Browns 3.
George said, we're going to buy a Corona portable kerosene heater. And I said, it'll smell funny. It doesn't. I said, it's dangerous. But George showed me the UL sticker. I said, bet it's dirty. It's not. George said, we'll save lots of money on heat. And we have. George is usually wrong, but I gotta admit, he sure knows his hot air. Cozy up to Corona. Stay warm and safe.
Quality and value in a new American car, you must be joking. Unfortunately, to many Americans with responsibilities, it's no joke. Plymouth, yes, Plymouth is changing that with the new Reliant K. The highest mileage 6-passenger front-wheel drive car in America. Firm, quiet, built with advanced technology. Plymouth Reliant K. The American way to get your money's worth.
How about that? Don't miss all the explosive action of the National League Divisional Playoffs starting Tuesday night on the home of great baseball, NBC Sports.
Time remaining, just a bit more than 3 minutes in Anaheim, where the Rams lead the Browns 14-3. Los Angeles starts from the 20-yard line after the punt into the end zone. Pat Haden is 7 for 9 in this first half. 1 touchdown. Tyler. Ooh, is he hit? And Tyler didn't like the way he was tackled by Robert Jackson. Jackson is a very fierce competitor and does tackle you with all 230 pounds. Other scores, final. New England's first victory of the year, 33-17 over Kansas City. It was Buffalo beating Baltimore 23-17. Dallas upset, first loss of the year for the Cowboys. The Cardinals got them by 3. Minnesota beats the Bears by 3. San Francisco, 3-2 now in the NFC West, 30-17. Bears check that. Green Bay now beats the Giants. And I'm going on one pace and the Cards going on the other. 27-yard line goes Wendell. I can't read quite that fast. I got to go back to school. And we'll just let you read the scores and flip them through there as fast as you want. These are partials. The Jets have that hoax against the Dolphins. And Denver with the best defense in the NFL. Seattle is surprisingly lead at San Diego. Detroit, the quarterback Jeff Comlow, the lead at Tampa Bay.
Pleased to see Jerry Shirk going on that long yardage situation. He's part of their 4-man rush on a short passing situation.
And that is the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half. Rams lead the Browns 14-3.
The 1980 Winter Olympics. Hockey team captain Mike Ruzioni helped clinch the gold for the U.S.
I'm Mike Ruzioni, the artist. Budweiser asked me to paint with these to help raise funds for America's Olympic athletes. Now you can own my painting and help our athletes train for 84. After all, there are a lot of Picassos. There's only one, Ruzioni.
Call 1-800-325-1488 for more information.
10 tough, mean beards versus one Bic shaver. Can one Bic shave them all?
Bic, say your prayers. My beard's gonna send this Bic to the showers.
That Bic is gonna beg for mercy.
It's amazing. It looks like one Bic shaver is going to shave these 10 tough beards.
Looks like Bic wins. I got a great shave also.
No way. Let me see the replay. Yes, one Bic shaved these 10 tough beards. How many shaves can you get?
Next Saturday, don't miss the exciting return of NBC Sports World, featuring hard-hitting World Championship boxing. Then, 1 week later, the world's finest Grand Prix drivers gather in the heart of Las Vegas for live coverage of the Caesars Palace Grand Prix, starting next Saturday on NBC.
Jerry Shirk going to the far sidelines. Well, he's a surprise that he's in uniform this year.
Of course, eliminated by a severe staph infection that he picked up on an artificial turf. Almost cost him his life. Tried to come back last year. That knee just wouldn't hold up. And tried again this year and is able to play. And what a quality individual he is. I'm just really thrilled to see him back in uniform. And he's playing well. Doing a good job. Back up nose tackle and playing aggressively as the fourth defensive lineman in their nickel situation.
Shirk from Oklahoma State, who is an outstanding professional photographer. That's the line he will pursue after he hangs up the helmet.
His camera's out in the locker room before the game, as a matter of fact.
Third down and 2, and some action before the snap. Jackie Slater, the right tackle of the Rams, did he pull his man offside? Yes, the penalty against the Rams. So that'll make it a little tougher call for Haden.
Haden gets an extra receiver now. Obviously,
ball starts, 78.
Long yardage situation. They'd like to have 3 receivers in there. The tight end, Henry Childs, comes out. Childs has certainly been a valuable addition for these Rams.
It's a big play for the Los Angeles Rams with 3rd down and 7. We welcome those who have watched Houston defeat Cincinnati 17-10, and Tyler has the catch and a first down. It's been a big play because with that first down, the Rams now can maintain possession with less than 2 minutes left in the first half. They lead 14-3 against the Cleveland Browns. That man, Wendell Tyler, with a touchdown run and a touchdown reception for Los Angeles. The Browns scored first on a 35-yard field goal. So we have a timeout here at Anaheim Stadium. A sellout crowd, the partisan Rams fans enjoying a 14-3 Los Angeles lead. We'll be right back.
Let the Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 2 give your business the competitive edge.
Hey, a TRS-80. You bet. And Radio Shack's programs do my accounting, payroll, inventory, even word processing. But was it tough to set up? Not at all. The TRS-80 has low startup costs, requires no formal training, and it's expandable. Saves me time and money, and that's the competitive edge.
The TRS-80 Model 2 from $38.99 only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Denny's introduces the Beefadelphia sandwich. We grill lean beef, juicy and tender. Melt rich mozzarella cheese over the top. Add succulent grilled onions. Cover with a soft French roll. And serve it all for the special introductory price this month of only $2.99. The new Beefadelphia sandwich only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
Next Saturday, don't miss the exciting return of NBC Sports World, featuring hard-hitting World Championship boxing. Then, 1 week later, the world's finest Grand Prix drivers gather in the heart of Las Vegas for live coverage of the Caesar's Palace Grand Prix, starting next Saturday on NBC.
And welcome back to Anaheim Stadium, and a special hello to you that have been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the New Orleans Saints 20-6. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen in Anaheim, California, where the Rams have the ball in a 14-3 lead. A minute 49 left in the first half. Haden to Cullen, Bryant, threading tacklers all the way to the 44-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down. So the Rams maintaining possession, running out the clock here at the end of the half, and now moving the ball downfield where they might add to that 14-3 lead. 11 yards for Bryant on that carry, the bull-like runner from Colorado, 236 pounds. A timeout called by the Rams, stops the clock, 1:38 left in the half.
Time comes when you must watch your money carefully, so quality and value are a necessity. Can you find them in an American car? Absolutely. In Plymouth. Yes, Plymouth. The new Horizon Miser, built with advanced technology and front-wheel drive for the best gasoline economy of any American car. 5-passenger Horizon Miser has a price that's sensible. It's the American way to get your money's worth.
What's more natural than spicy hot food and icy cold beer? What's more natural than natural light from Anheuser-Busch? It's the beer with a taste for food. So, when you want to put out the fire...
What's more natural than natural light?
Just to bring you up to date, those of you who have joined us in progress, David Jacobs kicked a 35-yard field goal to open the scoring. The Browns led 3-0, and the Rams put a 77-yard drive on the board. 10 plays. Tyler scored from 2 yards out, 7-3. A blocked field goal by the Browns. The 29-yard attempt was blocked by Johnny Johnson, and that led to a Ram touchdown. Haden to Tyler, a 2-yard pass. That could be a lateral. Tyler picks it up, but no, they rule it a forward pass. Incomplete. Very close to being a lateral pass.
Haden has not had many passes dropped today. He's been virtually perfect in this first half.
Here it is again.
Of course, if that ball is thrown directly across to the sideline or behind the line, it is a live ball. The referee's ruling here that it was indeed thrown forward and therefore was not a live football.
It was about 2 yards forward to Tyler. Ball at the 44-yard line. A minute 34 left. The Rams have 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 10 play. Denard left, Waddy right. Haden double pumping, finding Tyler, and he's dragged down at the Browns' 48-yard line. And it took half the Browns team to accomplish that feat. 8 yards on the play.
Interesting pass by Haden. Looked like he had everything he could do to get that ball stopped. Up without a huddle quickly to the line.
Clock running, 1:11 left. And Bryant has the first down and gets out of bounds. That's all the Rams wanted. That's quite a quinella. You stop the clock with 1:08, you get the first down for Haden, and you move the ball closer to that Cleveland goal line.
One of the interesting similarities between these two quarterbacks, Haden and Sipe, is the fact that they will go to so many different receivers. Sipe perhaps more balanced than Haden, but Haden loves to throw to his backs as well. Certainly one of his favorite receivers is Cullen Bryant, who has very sure hands in a situation like that.
Doesn't he, though? And that big body of his, he almost swallows up the ball when it arrives. Corral, who might be called on for a long field goal. Tyler again, and he's out of bounds at the 34-yard line, and Tyler, some of the fans thought he was hit late, and he's slow getting up, as he may have run into a fan there on the sidelines in a wheelchair.
He certainly did, Dick, and he hit hard. You'll see it on the sideline. Clay Matthews, number 57, had him on the sideline. He's the man responsible for the coverage on Tyler. Hits him right there on the sideline. Tyler diving. You see the wheelchair being knocked backwards there.
And Tyler's still down as they attend to the Ram now. Getting up. He's all right.
They will replace him, however, give him a chance to clear his head. Maybe a little better opportunity to see it here. As you see him flying, you see that wheelchair literally knocked sideways as he made contact with it on the sideline.
Tyler with both touchdowns for the Rams. They lead 14-3. This is a second and a long one. Great protection again for Haden, going long for Waddy. It is not an interception. Clarence Scott caught the ball out of the end zone. Scott, who along with Bolton and Dart, a trio of ball hawks with over 100 interceptions between the three of them.
Not a very good pass. Certainly one that could just as well have not been thrown. Haden, I'm sure, could read the coverage, knew he was covered, knew he had his man covered down there. He probably should have tried just to dump it or throw it all the way away.
Looks like Haden was saying six-man, that they're going to a six-man defense. You think that's what he was signaling?
He is, yeah. They've gone to a three-man line now with 6 defensive backs. They've taken a couple of defensive linemen off the field. 55 seconds left in the half. 14-3, the Rams. Ball is at the Cleveland 35-yard line. Third, call it a yard and a half. Mike Gooman, and he's close to the first down. Gooman from Penn State, where he was an all-East pitcher 3 times. Left-handed pitcher and set a Penn State record, won 10 in a row. Gooman 44, and he has the first down. One of the things that Sam Rutigliano was concerned about was the Rams' ability to run the ball on passing situations.
Sam Rutigliano now sees the Rams with another first down as they exercise their final timeout.
The National Football League has a new club, and this one's just for kids. The NFL Super Pro Club. It's fun to be a member.
Through the year, your child will receive exciting surprises like the sideline saucer,
the official NFL Super Pro ID card, an official Super Bowl 16 poster, team decals, t-shirt transfers, lots of fun reading and inside news about the NFL. An NFL standings board where members can track their favorite team to the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Why stand on the sidelines? Join the club.
Yay!
For further information about how your child can join and a $6 membership fee, write NFL Super Pro Club, Post Office Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey 08650. It's great to be an NFL Super Pro.
Mascot well adorned. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Although the total offense fairly close, the score is not. 14-3, Los Angeles, and the Rams are at the Cleveland 32 in this final minute of the first half. 42 seconds remaining.
Big edge at first down for the Rams. Much of that Cleveland yardage coming on a long pass from Sipe.
Safety blitz, throws to Denard.
To get that ball up and down the sideline. Watch Cedar now. He's got to get both feet down. He just slickered Dixon on that one. Gets 1 foot down, and we can't see it, but did manage to tap both feet on the grass inside of that wide white line. And Sam just shakes his head on the other sideline.
Haden's had a good first half. The Rams have played well. The throw is complete to denied again. Out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And the 2-minute drill for the Los Angeles Rams at the end of this first half is right out of the playbook. This is a textbook job by Haden.
Haden again taking advantage of Dixon, the rookie, and he fires it quickly over there. And for Dixon, number 29, of course, in his first year, a first-round draft pick, and he's got to be a little nervous in there. They say he's growing rapidly and learning, but he's going to pay his dues out there today, it looks like.
This is the 13th play of the drive. 2nd and 4, 5 for a touchdown. Haden, lots of time again, throws it away. Waddy was double-teamed on that far side by Scott and Bolton, and Don Good was putting the heat on the quarterback.
You have to admire Haden, Dick. Stood in there, took all the time he possibly could, knew that he was going to take a hit. He's still got painful ribs. He's bandaged up down there, cracked sternum. He'd still take the shot, though. A lot of heart. A lot of heart in that young quarterback.
And the bright young man, a Rhodes Scholar, while he's highly competitive, he admits to the fact that while football is very important, it isn't the most important thing in life. And that also a theme of Sam Rutigliano. And I know you felt the same way. I hope you have time in the second half to pursue that. 3rd and 4 for the first down, 5 for the touchdown. On the audible. No flag. Ooh, that was close. Haden says, why not? And Waddy was bumped at the last moment.
Bolton playing Waddy very tightly, man-to-man. And I think they were hoping that they would get a call for shielding here. Bolton just trying to play that territory. He's entitled to some room back there as well as the receiver is. In the eye of the official, not illegal contact, but very close. You could have called that. Some officials may have called that.
But the same play occurred at the other end of the field that wasn't called there either. So they've been consistent in that regard. Corral, however, comes in and misses the field goal. He's wide to the left. A 22-yard field goal. And what will that do to the emotions of this game as the Rams, on a superb, long 2-minute drive, get down inside the 5 only to miss a short chip shot.
Let's see if we can see what happened on that play. It looked like that ball was being rolled over. Can we see that again? Because it looked like that ball actually was coming out of the hold of Cromwell as Corral kicked it. Cromwell gets it down. It looks like he had it all right. It looked like Corral just snapped it back to the inside.
So the Browns take over at their own 20-yard line. They have all their timeouts and 21 seconds remaining, but they stay on the ground, and Sam Rutigliano apparently going to play it safe out to the 25-yard line. And that'll be the final play of this first half. So the Browns had a field goal short one blocked, and that led to a Ram touchdown to make it 14-3. But the Rams unable to make it 17-3, or more importantly for Malavasi, he thought 21-3 as they missed the short field goal. So the little minute played a big first half, but it's been Pat Haden of the Rams bettering that of Brian Sipe, and the score reflects that at 14-3. Back at Anaheim Stadium at halftime, the Browns trailing the Los Angeles Rams 14-3. This telecast is NBC Football's answer to This Is Your Life, Merlin Olsen. We saw the future, the Father Murphy. We're going to go back into your past with this picture, and it brings back a lot of fond memories, too.
Bring out a little history here, Dick.
Look at this fearsome foursome, they call themselves, number 74. Kind of pudgy-cheeked Merlin Olsen. He weighed about 290 then, about 60 pounds more than he does today. Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones is here. Well, let's see. Here's Merlin here. Then Deacon, Rosie Greer, and Lamar Lundy, the Rams' fearsome foursome. What an outfit that was.
Couldn't have done much better than the Ram defense has done today, though, limiting this very fine Cleveland Brown team to just 3 points in that first half.
We're going to go to scores later with Brian Gamble in New York, and he'll run them all down. As you look back on those memories of the fearsome foursome, as it all materialized, is there anything you can share with us that we might enjoy too?
We would have enjoyed having this Rams secondary that they have on the field today with us at that time, but those were 3 very fine gentlemen that I was proud to have a chance to play with, and they still are fine gentlemen, outstanding people.
Of course, Deacon honored by being named to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. Some scores today in the NFL. Houston defeated Cincinnati 17-10. Pittsburgh wins again. That's 3 in a row for the Steelers. They're tied, the Jets and Miami, in the first half. Denver leads Oakland 7-0. The Broncos' defense has been brilliant. San Diego has taken the lead against Seattle. Detroit leads Tampa Bay at the half. And we'll be back in just a moment. This 1981 National Football League game is being brought to you by Schlitz, the Master Brewer's Brew. Just one taste and you'll know behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer. By the new Chrysler Corporation. For 1982, Chrysler has the cars, the quality, and the prices America needs. By RCA Video Disc. Bring the magic home on RCA. And by IBM Office Products Division. From Anaheim Stadium, we get ready for the second half. The Rams lead, but right now for all the scores and highlights, let's go to Brian Gumbel in New York.
Test my Schlitz against other top beers on live TV, but not our people here at Schlitz.
Back at Anaheim Stadium, Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen, the official halftime statistics. Merlin, one thing, the very bottom of the list there, the Rams did something the Browns have been doing all year, kept the ball in their possession.
Browns leading the league in time of possession coming into this game, but they were not able to do it in the first half against the Rams. Look at the passing stats. Haden, 13 of 19. Very fine first half. Sipe has had his troubles. Only 5 of 13. A lot of that yardage coming on one big pass to Rucker down the sideline. Really 5 opportunities to score in the first half. And of those 5 opportunities, there were only 3 conversions. 2 by the Rams for touchdowns. I take it back. There were more than that. The Rams got 2 touchdowns in 3 tries. They missed their field goal. But the Browns had 2 attempts. They got 1 field goal, had the other one blocked. Interesting what happens. You get marched all the way down the field. You've got to get that ball into the end zone.
Well, at the end of the first half, it was the Rams who marched it down and missed a short field goal. We'll see what that does to the start of the second half as Cox tees it up and hits it hard. Oh, my, did he hit it. Hill, deep in his own end zone, will just take it at the 20-yard line on the touchback. So let's set up the Cleveland defense and the Rams offense as the teams take the field. For the Rams, it'll be Pat Haden at quarterback. As Merlin told you, a fine first half, 13 out of 19. Wendell Tyler, who ran for a 2-yard touchdown and caught another 2-yard touchdown pass for all the Rams scoring, along with Cullen Bryant. Preston Denard had 4 catches in the first half. Waddy, the other wide receiver, and Childs at tight end. And the offensive line of Pankey and Smith, Saul in the center, Hara and Slater on the right side. Denard, the poet, he's out to the left side. And Waddy to the right. Tyler not in the lineup as we start this second half. Yes, he is. Wendell Tyler is in there, number 26, with Cullen Bryant.
Cullen Bryant rushing 6 times for 38 yards, 6.3 average in that first half. Most impressive runner. Although Mike Pruitt with 8 runs for 40 yards and a 5-point average. Not too shabby on the Cleveland side.
Defensively, Merlin, it'll be Harris, Bradley, and Alzado up front. 4 linebackers, Good, Jackson, Ambrose, and Matthews. Bolton and Dixon at the corners, and Scott and Darden at safety. There you see them.
I'm sure Marty Schottenheimer had a good conversation with his defense at halftime. The Browns, an explosive team, certainly not out of this game by any means, as they have proven so many times in the past. In fact, if history is any judge, we've got some second half fireworks in store. I think, in fact, over the past 2 seasons, these Browns are the most exciting team in football.
You recall the Rams in their opener, seen here on NBC, had a handsome lead at halftime against Houston, only to find the Oilers coming back in the third quarter and finally winning it on Willie Tullis's kickoff return for a touchdown. Bryant draws a crowd out at the 23-yard line. Cullen Bryant, who in the first half rushed for 38 yards, a 6.3 average. Robert L. Jackson, Stonewall, made the tackle, the number 1 pick out of Texas A&M. 4 yards a rush. You can use that 4-yard mark really as a definition of whether you're going well or not. If you're under 4 a carry, then you want to improve. Over 4, then you can smile a bit. Whoops. Denard with a skid on the reverse, and the handoff inside to Tyler, and Lyle Alzado was there to close the hole, number 77. Cedar, a veteran in his 11th year in the National Football League.
Been playing with a torn calf muscle. He's relatively healthy today, but no longer has the great speed that once made such an interesting combination. He's one of the strongest players around, and when he was able to really move those feet of his, he was a frightening pass rusher. Still plays the run well, but does not get the pass rush that he used to. And I tell you, though, they love him in Cleveland. He's a fine leader for them.
Third down, and call it 6. Draw to Bryant, and he fights his way close to the first down with that second effort needed to get to the 30-yard line, and with that last twist, may well have done it.
He needs to be on the line. Let's see what they do with it.
Yes, first down, Los Angeles.
Talked about the physical strength of Cullen Bryant. Obviously a passing down here. He runs right through the arms of Jerry Shirk, although Shirk did manage to get him to the ground. That's like grabbing a passing truck.
Yeah, they say they ought to print Fruhoff on the back of Bryant's trousers. Leading 14-3 early in the second half, and it's Denard with his 5th catch of the game and ducking out of bounds with a 5-yard play.
I think I had the chance to watch Pat Haden work a couple of the games early in the year, and he just did not appear to be seeing his receivers and the secondary. He appears to be back in the groove now and really has thrown the ball crisply today and has not thrown those bad passes that he threw early in the season. He was bothered with interceptions, and he hasn't even been close to one today.
Haden, who's been bothered by hand and finger injuries the last 3 years, gives it to Bryant, who plows to the 38, where it'll be 3rd down and 2.
We talked about the similarities in these two quarterbacks, Haden and Sipe. Another similarity, they both call their own plays. A bit unusual to find two quarterbacks calling their own plays in the NFL today on the same field. So many are called now by the coaches from the sideline.
Really is an exciting story for the little guy. Haden was drafted in the 7th round and Sipe in the 13th round, and no one thought they could really play in the NFL. Now they're not only outstanding quarterbacks, but leading their teams, calling their own plays. And Haden is sacked for the first time. Robert Jackson. And he had a big hole to shoot, and Haden writhing a bit, but finally back up on his feet. That's the first sack of the game.
Here comes that on-rushing line. A chance to watch Pat Haden under pressure. 56 Doug Smith coming out to the outside, but no one picked up Jackson on the inside, and he just swarmed all over Pat Haden, then does a little dance over the down body of the quarterback.
Now Frank Corral to punt. Montgomery back at the Browns 28. Good kick. High and twisting to the 21. And Montgomery breaks out of a couple of tackles and gets to the 34-yard line. That's enough to make Wolverton. I'm sure he's watching back in Philadelphia the success of his brother today. First down for the Browns. Their first possession will come at the 35.
Okay, units, travel plans. I need to be in New York on Monday, LA.
Much more important statistic than first downs for most, and the Rams, although they didn't convert on that last 3rd down, still have had the upper hand.
That's certainly an improvement for them. They've only been going at a 33% clip coming into this game. And of course, we showed you those stats for Cleveland. Most impressive on 3rd down. Not so today.
Rucker in motion as Sipe hands it off to Mike Pruitt. Big fullback from Purdue. It's about 3 yards before Mike Fanning, also played in the state of Indiana at Notre Dame, made the tackle. Dan Pastorini. A little strange seeing him in the blue and gold.
He told me an interesting story, Dick. He said that really has had some troubles learning the offense in L.A. because for 18 years the odd numbers have been right and the even numbers left. Now suddenly in L.A., odd numbers are left, even numbers are right. He said, you want to talk about, as I go to the line and call the plays on the wrong side of the line and then I turn the wrong way, really having his problems.
Suddenly having the right left-handed after being a right-hander all year. 2nd and 7. Over the middle and wide open is Mike Pruitt to the 50 and to the 47-yard line in the first down. And he has the speed in the open field to outrun those defensive backs. 15 yards on the play.
At home, put on your helmets. You go right down on the field with us. Brian Sipe gets back quickly and sets up and Pruitt finds the open area underneath the linebackers. Joe Harris, number 51, the man that was chasing him from the backside. They don't get him until he gets a big first down and good field position for the Cleveland Browns.
4.5 minutes into the third quarter. The Rams lead 14-3. Rucker in motion. Pruitt. Oh, they're waiting for him that time. Jim Youngblood, number 53, and 90, Larry Brooks, made the sandwich.
Bud Carson is the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. Coached in Pittsburgh for a number of years. A very bright defensive coach. And they've got a scheme that's working very well against the Browns today. But Sipe's an amazing quarterback, Dick. I think he has the best vision of the field, perhaps, of any of the quarterbacks except Dan Fouts in the NFL.
And he now faces that nickel defense the Rams play so well. Kirk Collins, the 5th defensive back in, with Thomas injured. Eckern came out. Charlie White, his first carry of the second half, and he's to the 43-yard line. Couldn't quite get to full speed. Jones and Brooks on that defensive right side of the Rams line stacked it up.
Sipe trying to cross the Rams up a bit. An obvious passing down, and he's trying to run the football, but they did a good job of shutting it off. Give him a 3rd and 7. Let's see what he does here. He traditionally would be going short, looking for the first down, but they're taking a lot of those short passes away from him. He may have to go deep.
He sends Rucker to the right. Leroy Irvin on him. Irvin playing for the injured Pat Thomas. We'll see if he goes in that direction against the less experienced defender. He brings Greg Pruitt in motion to this side. In trouble. Gets it to Pruitt. Flags down, and Pruitt is hit at the 35. That would be good enough for a first down if the penalty is against the Rams.
We may have an illegal bump downfield beyond that 5-yard range. Looks like that's what it is. Obviously, the Browns are happy.
The Browns will take the play as there's more yardage gained, and they'll have the first down anyway.
Chance for you to watch that play develop. The Browns send everyone out in that pattern, and Sipe running for his life, but you saw Pruitt reacting wisely, cutting back across the field, and that's a tough pass to throw. Running right, throwing to a receiver.
Decline. First down.
Throwing back to a receiver who's going the opposite direction. You talk about a tough one to throw. Sipe put it right on the money, and Pruitt hauled it in, picked up the first down.
How about that block downfield by Reggie Rucker, who cut down Jim Youngblood to help Pruitt to the first down. They decline the penalty, take the yardage and the first down at the 35. Sipe on first down, going long, has Rucker open. It's a touchdown for Cleveland. And they went against Leroy Irvin, but hold on, a flag is down, holding against the Browns.
Number 63, Cody Risen, shaking his head again. Youngblood was on the ground close to the quarterback. It may well be that they've got Cody Risen again. And Sam Rutigliano told me before the game, the one matchup he was worried about with his offensive line, Jack Youngblood against Cody Risen.
Holding, number 63. First down.
So Risen, the third-year man from Texas A&M, is hit with his second holding call.
Let's see if we can't see it. On the left side of your screen now, Youngblood should be appearing about now. Yep, just his head. And someone wrapped around his legs. Fine pass. Rucker getting clean.
Watch on the near side now, and you'll see the official throw the flag immediately.
Look at Rucker just breaking away from number 47, Irvin, and Johnny Johnson. And you got to realize that's not his man. He's coming over to help. Big play.
Mike Pruitt on a first down play, and Sipe hoping to catch the Rams looking pass, but Pruitt gets only a few yards. Joe Harris and Larry Brooks with a tackle.
You'd said earlier, Dick, that Cleveland might have to challenge Leroy Irvin, and they didn't wait long to do it. They came right after him. Shame to have that one called back. That would have put Cleveland right back into this ball game.
So it's 14-3 Los Angeles as the Browns in the huddle. Ball at the 42-yard line. Second down, 17. Newsom split away on the near side. Pruitt makes it a triple left as he went in motion. Sipe going long for Newsom. And Newsom in a pushing match with Johnson. That could go either way. They both were using their hands.
Nolan Cromwell appealing to the official to call it on Newsom, but the official is question. It's usually decided in favor of the offensive receiver. And in that particular case, it's exactly what happened. Cleveland now in position to take advantage. Maybe get that touchdown in spite of having that last one called back.
Rams, the third most penalized team in the NFL. Were not hit that hard the first half, but that's a critical call. Gives the first down to the Browns inside the 20. Trailing 14-3. Sipe buys himself some real estate and throws. Is it a touchdown to Newsom? Yes. Ozzie Newsom. And Sipe just did stop before, or did he? Before he hit the line of scrimmage. He came very close, and the Rams are arguing he went
No, I don't believe he did. We've got a flag on the other side. I think he may have stepped across the line of scrimmage. But what an incredible pass.
That's right, illegal forward pass. He had gone beyond the line of scrimmage.
Sipe getting all the extra time he could. Spotting his receiver.
Well, the spot is the 20, just inside the 20-yard line is the line of scrimmage.
Watch him as he comes to the outside now. As he goes forward to the line again.
25.
Just fires that ball. Look at the catch. Look at the catch right there. Watch the toe coming down. 2 feet inside. That's an artistic piece of work by the receiver.
So the Browns have had 2 touchdowns negated by penalty on this drive. The 35-yard pass to Rucker, and now the 20-yard touchdown throw to Newsom. And Sipe make the third try the charm.
Maybe the third one's the one. The hat trick is the one you got to have to get 7 points here, Dick.
2nd and 15. Down the middle, Newsom.
He's got it.
And he stopped just shy of the goal line, and the whistle had blown. Not a fumble, whistle had blown. 24 yards, so Sipe, showing his character, comes right back. It was Ricky Feature, not Newsom, down at the goal line, and Feature has it 1st and goal.
Sipe back there calmly in that pocket, throws right into the coverage. 3 men around Ozzie Newsom. You get an idea of the confidence that he has in that receiver and his own arm. Ricky Feature, actually, the receiver. The kind of confidence he has in his throwing ability and in his receivers. Threw it right into a man that was triple covered.
1st and goal at the 1 as the Browns trying to drive right back into this game, trailing 14-3.
Offsides Rams.
Pruitt up the middle. He's in the end zone. Let's see if the Rams were pulled offside. Nope, the signal is offside. Rams decline, touchdown Cleveland.
I wonder if that's the toughest touchdown that Sipe has ever got. Had to get in there 3 times. You'll see the Ram defensive lineman jumping offside. Mike Fanning, number 79, the man who jumped first, but didn't make any difference. Pruitt, number 43, over the top, into the end zone. Chance now to convert, make it 7 points. Cut that Ram lead.
Remember, Jacobs had a short field goal blocked as he tries the extra point.
Well, look how far back he is.
Gets that one high and deep, and it's 14-10. So the Browns, middle of the 3rd quarter, overcome 2 penalties that denied touchdowns to score on the 3rd try and pull within 4. Sipe engineering that drive, and the Browns are within 4, and a long kick again by Cox, and once again Drew Hill unable to take it out of the end zone as the rookie from Arkansas drills it deep.
We've got a flag down. I think they may have been offsides on the kickoff.
The Browns may have jumped across that 35 before Cox hit it.
We may find out how much leg Cox has. He'll get a chance to kick this one from the 30.
Meanwhile, back to Brian Sipe as Wyant will give you the offside.
Offside, kicking team.
You know, it's almost a cliche, a bromide, that the little guys have the big heart, and that's how they stay around. And we talked about the little quarterbacks, Haden and Sipe, but they're mighty big in character, aren't they?
Not only that, but you saw how coolly Sipe handled adversity in that situation. I mean, most quarterbacks get so upset when one is called back like that it's difficult for them to come right back. He not only came back from the first one, put another one in there. They took that one away from him. He came right back and got the 3rd one in there.
Not broke. We've got a quarterback.
Well, they certainly do. They have a fine quarterback. And it's also, I think, a tribute to Sam Rutigliano, the kind of confidence that he has expressed and shown for Bryant Sipe. And Rutigliano, made an interesting observation on the treatment of Pat Haden here in Los Angeles. Malavasi jerked Haden out of a game earlier in the year. The Rams were down by 3 points. Haden was having a bad night. Rutigliano said you can't play quarterback looking at the sideline, an indication that he would never jerk a quarterback. Haden reacting to that in an interesting fashion, able to overcome the adversity that went with that, but that's still tough.
So Cox from his 30-yard line this time. Oh, does he have a leg? That's going to take Hill to the 1-yard line. Andrew Hill gets it to the 20. That's where he would have had it before. Well, back on Sipe, and the final note on him, when the man is drafted 330th and spends his first 2 years in the NFL on the taxi squad, then the next 2 years in obscurity behind Mike Phipps, and his 5th year finally gets a chance to play. I guess if you don't have the character, you'd have been long gone off selling insurance or doing something else that pleases you. But Bryant Sipe, one of those men who refused to say that he couldn't play, and he has proven himself as not only a winner, but the most valuable player in the league last year. Good stories in sports. Haden. Great protection, and out it goes to Tyler. He's used him often. And Tyler picks up 6 yards on first down. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited.
We talk about a quarterback's vision, what he's looking at. You'll get a chance to be right in his back pocket here, looking downfield. Now remember, he's got the wide receiver out, or the back out to the outside. That's his outlet receiver. If he can't find the open man, he flips it out there. Tyler gets downfield for a pretty good gain.
Bernard in motion, and give it to Big Bryant. And he has a, well, almost said too soon. Looks like he does have a first down. Speaking of Bryant, Enberg and Olsen going to toss one from Anaheim to New York.
Thank you very much, Dick. Opening day, Denver beat Oakland 9-7. Looks like they're trying to do it again. Watch Rick Parris, a 20-yard run up the middle, 17-0. Denver leads third quarter. Dick?
We pause briefly for station identification from Anaheim, California. This is the NBC Television Network.
KWWL TV, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids.
It is not quite a first down, although it appears that ball is right on the 30-yard line. So someone didn't mark the field right because the ball's on the chalk. And Tyler doesn't get there. The Browns come up with another big third down play. Robert L. Jackson.
I said earlier that Robert L. Jackson was the emotional leader of that defense. He's also the inspirational leader on short yardage here. Watch the one-on-one battle between he and Tyler. Tremendous acceleration from the inside by the big linebacker. Drops Tyler short of the first down. The Rams will have to kick it away.
That's one of the best pictures we've seen all year. You saw Jackson zeroing in on him all the way. Great camera work. Larry Cerullo, our producer. Ted Nathanson, our director. Oh, that one goes in the bank. You could really feel that one develop. Nice high kick by Corral. Montgomery at his own 23. And a flag down. And so is Montgomery at the 30-yard line. I'd almost like to see that just out of the poetry of the motion between the two opponents, the adversaries, the Jackson against Tyler. 48-yard punt by Corral, and it appears the penalty is against the Browns.
Number 22, Jairo Pinedera, doing a fine job getting down and getting around to be in on that tackle.
So the Browns will start deep in their own end with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Rams in front 14-10. And the Browns move the ball very effectively and against
holding number 23, first down,
and against adversity in that last drive. And a timeout as Bryant Sipe will make his way to the huddle. No, he says with timeout I'll go back and talk it over with Sam, and we in turn will share these messages with you.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The people in St. Louis know their beer, but as a master brewer...
Schlitzer.
Thank you. I know one taste of my Schlitz can change a lot of minds, and now more people know.
I like Schlitz better than Bud.
I'm a Miller drinker, but you have to taste Schlitz to believe it.
Mr. Sillinger, your Schlitz tastes good. It's a good tasting beer. Here's to it.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Touch. Now in New York, in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Richard Todd throwing from deep in his own territory, trying to hit Johnny Lamb Jones. Instead, it's picked off by Glenn Blackwood, his 4th interception of the year. Returns at 37 yards. The Dolphins are in business, and it's tied up at 14-all in the 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen.
Thank you, Byron. And there's Robert L. Jackson. It's the essence of the game, and our NBC cameras caught it for you. Look at this. Watch Jackson 56 against Haden. Tyler gets the ball. There's Jackson. He spots him man for man. 3rd and inches, and Jackson making the play. Well, that really puts you into what the game is all about. And Jackson making an outstanding defensive play to deny the Rams. Beautiful camera. Sipe takes over at his own 15 after the punt and penalty, trailing the Rams 14 and 10. Sipe, great protection. Outside to Newsom, and that one's too far outside. Caught by Cleo Miller, and he is ineligible.
Both offensive lines have done a fine job. We've only had 1 sack this entire game. Credit to the way these quarterbacks have been protected. Sipe, a quarterback that will throw the ball away, as he did there, and beyond that, he'll unload it. He won't take the sack.
What's your basic rule there? How much time are you saying you give the quarterback, and after that point, it's a bonus?
Well, it depends on what your strategy is. Cleveland basically works on about 3-second passes. If you're in Oakland, you better be able to handle 5 because they run the long routes.
That's Greg Pruitt in motion. Blitz, Youngblood. Jim Youngblood, and a fumble. They say the ball was down at the 3-yard line. First sack of the game for the Rams.
We just congratulate the offensive formation of Cleveland for protecting Sipe so well, and Youngblood comes in and spoils his perfect day that way. Watch the pressure here. We talked about the pressure the Rams can put on you. They do it here with the blitz, and Youngblood, a very strong linebacker. Youngblood coming in from the outside. Now watch him here very quickly. Rising, dropping back to take Jack Youngblood on the outside, and you saw Jim Youngblood, 53, just disappear to the inside. Cleveland had sent the backs out into the pattern. No one there, and Sipe paid the price.
3rd down, and about 20, and from his own end zone, Sipe down the middle of the field to Rucker, and he has a first down at the 31-yard line. How do you do? Well, it appears that Sipe has to be in the hole before he has the Rams at his advantage.
Well, he's working very aggressively on the right side of his offense, on the left side of the Ram defense. Of course, man over there, number 47, Leroy Irvin.
Here's Jim Youngblood on that play. Or check it, Jack Youngblood.
Oh, hello. Cody. You got to understand that Cody Rice is a little frustrated. Youngblood really had to go to the
first down play out of the backfield. Mike Pruitt unable to hang on to it as he juggled, and by that time he met contact from Carl Eckern, 5th-year middle linebacker from San Jose State, who has replaced Jack Hacksaw Reynolds. You're talking about great pictures. Remember that picture? They won an award for a photograph. Carl Eckern on a goal line play on defense had made a dive in midair and met a Green Bay ball carrier who was diving over the pile. They met head to head, and he stopped him on the goal line, and it was really, again, the quintessence of a goal line stand.
Eckern, a fine linebacker, especially in short yardage, as is R.L. Jackson, Robert L. Jackson for Cleveland.
2nd and 10. Greg Pruitt back in, and there's the handoff inside to Mike Pruitt. Reggie Doss, number 71, a defensive lineman in reserve, has come in to help out the middle of that line. And it'll be 3rd and long again for Brian Sipe. Larry Brooks, number 90, getting a breather while Doss is in. Pass defense, the Rams number 1 in the NFL. Denver leads the entire NFL in total defense, and apparently are doing it again up at Oakland as they shut out the Raiders in the first half today. The Raiders, who didn't score against the Lions after 15 years of always scoring at least once last week, shut out by the Lions, shut out the first half today. Rucker, did he get it?
fought for it all the way. Sipe under pressure here. Harris, number 51 from the backside, just getting his hands on Sipe as he unloaded the ball. Now watch right here. Pretty hard to tell.
Rams apparently have it at the 45 of Cleveland.
Byron Day in New York. The Dolphins have cashed in on Blackwood's interception. Andre Franklin going in from a yard out on a disputed play, his second disputed touchdown call today. 21-14, Miami leads in the third quarter. Let's go back to Dick Enberg.
So a shoestring interception by Leroy Irvin has given the Rams the ball at the Cleveland 45. Late in the third quarter, 2:42 remaining in this period. Rams lead 14-10. And Haden on first down, going to go long. And almost intercepted by Tom Darden. He was trying to repeat the magic of Leroy Irvin.
Number 50, Don Good, and 52, Dick Bam Bam Ambrose, both downfield beautifully.
So with 2:36 left in this third quarter, the Rams with a 14-10 lead and the ball, 2nd and 10. And the Browns come on with the extra defensive back as Haden 15 for 22 passing, 1 touchdown. He's been going to his backs. To go to Tyler, although he's not in there. Gulman is in with Bryant. Both backs in the pattern, and it's Gulman at the 40. Breaks out of the tackle momentarily, and almost a first down at the 36. Let's go now to New York and Byron Day with this NFL update.
Thanks, Dick. In San Diego, Dan Fouts, Air Coryell and company having no problems with Seattle. Fouts, a 12-yard completion to Charlie Joyner, another 6 points. 17-7, San Diego leads it in the third.
Brian Sipe, a lot of Bryants and Bryants and Byrons today, and he looks like he's gone to the smelling salts.
Maybe just trying to clear his head a little bit. He's talking to Paul Hackett, who's his quarterback coach. He's the quarterback coach at SC.
And the Rams use a timeout here as Haden wants some help from the sidelines with his set or whatever he saw from the Cleveland defense.
Maybe he wants some smelling salts.
Maybe we need some. With just less than 2 minutes left in the third quarter, let's pause for this break. 14-10, late in the third quarter as the Rams break huddle on 3rd and 1. Now the Browns have stopped the Rams a couple of times in this situation, and they're uptight again. It's Bryant outside, and he's got some running room now for the 33 and a first down. Clarence Scott did a great job. No, that was Ron Bolton of saving that with help from Darden from being a touchdown.
Robert L. Jackson, 56, trying to guess with that snap count, and he plays very deep on that short yardage situation. He came right up almost into the line, upset his timing. He was not there to go to work on Cullen Bryant on the outside, and you're right, if Bolton hadn't been able to go one-on-one with him, Bryant might have broken it down the sideline.
Haden in the sunshine this late afternoon in Southern California. Steps up and goes long for Denard. That could have gone the other way in that Denard was being tackled toward the sidelines, and sometimes the officials will rule that had he not been hit by a defender, he would have been in bounds.
What a beautiful pass and a tremendous reception. Haden puts this right on the money. It's a long pass and right in a position that only one man can get it. And boy, he takes it. Oh, is that poetry? Look at that, right on the tips of his fingers. He ends up out of bounds. But what a fantastic diving catch from Preston Denard.
They call him Magic.
He is magic. He certainly is.
2nd and 10. Rams leading 14-10, late third quarter. Open is Denard, and he rolls out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So Denard certainly making Hanford Dixon, the rookie quarterback, conscious of the deep threat, and he just sent him long and cut back to meet the ball wide open. Updating other scores this afternoon. Miami has now taken a touchdown lead against the Jets after New York had jumped out early. That play in the third quarter at the Orange Bowl. And look at that score. Denver Broncos 17-0. And Oakland now has not scored in 7 consecutive quarters. And San Diego, as you heard in recent update, leading 17-7. And Tampa Bay with a 14-10 lead against the Lions. Those are the late games along with this one. First down Rams. Bryant. It's just a couple. 91 Bradley and 90 Harris collaborating on the stop. Marshall Harris, a talented artist. He sketches, works with acrylics, oils, sculpture. In fact, he quit the Jets a couple of years ago to take a full-time job as a commercial artist and then coached back by the Cleveland Browns.
Both Marshall Harris at 90 and 91 Henry Bradley, the nose tackle, have improved dramatically over the past season and a half. They're going to be good defensive linemen. A little more seasoning, a little more technique.
2nd and 8, and Haden to the air. Denard. Dixon made the tackle, and they're really picking on the rookie corner, Hanford Dixon.
Denard had him twisted, and turned inside out on that one.
So Preston Denard with 9 catches all year has 7 in this game. End of the third quarter. 14-10 Rams. Will be back after these messages from your local station.
This is Byron Day in New York. Out in Oakland, the Raiders are playing not like the world champions they are. Mark Wilson throws this errant pass into the arms of Bob Swenson. That's the 5th Raider turnover today. Broncos ahead 17-0 in the 4th.
So the Oakland Raiders having trouble at quarterback. Plunk it out. They've gone with Mark Wilson, but he's unsuccessful also. Meanwhile, the Rams under the whip of Pat Haden have it 1st and goal at the 5. That was reminiscent of the old Ram Bull Elephant. Backfield, 3 men in the backfield behind Haden.
How long has it been since we've seen a team run a play? We see them line up that way, but they rarely run it that way. They usually put somebody in motion, and there they are, 3 big backs. Bryant, Earl Thomas, number 33, Duman. Those are 3 big horses.
It was Dick Horner and Tank Younger and Deacon Dan Towler, the old Bull Elephant team of the Rams, who were once the Cleveland Rams and moved to the West Coast back in 1946. Cleveland adopted the Browns. Duman has a touchdown. His first touchdown of the season, Mike Duman. Born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Duman chucks that ball in the stands. He'll pay for that one too, but I guess he doesn't mind. He doesn't get many chances to do that. They attack the left side, right behind Jackie Slater over there, right at Lyle Alzado and Clay Matthews. You have a chance to feel it yourself here, the kind of collisions taking place on that line. Duman adjusting well. Matthews had penetrated deeply. He just ducked inside of him and stepped across Alzado, walked in for the touchdown.
Corral's trying for point. Good hold by Cromwell, and it is good. Matt Gilman, as he ran in there, reminded me of a former teammate of yours, Lester Josephson. He has that same running style. So that's the first play of the 4th quarter, and it gets 7 points for the Los Angeles Rams. With 14:20 left, the Browns in the hole, 21-10. Anaheim Stadium, 21-10. The answer is Bruce Jenner and Michael Landon. Now, the question
is... who can you see in the Gramblings White Tiger tonight on NBC? Bruce Jenner. And tomorrow night, the premiere of the final year of Little House on the Prairie. One of my favorite shows.
Indeed. And Michael Landon, of course, is working closely with you and Father Murphy. And that bodes well. You know it's going to be high quality. Corral kicks it off. Plenty of time left. Almost a full quarter. But the Browns are down 21-10. And a long kick. And Montgomery gambles and takes it out. For the 25. At the 27. Outstanding individual effort by Toyota Montgomery. Took it 6 yards deep in the end zone, and Corral, the last man for the Rams, made the saving tackle.
Sam Bertigliano, a coach who doesn't mind having his players gamble when they need to. This is an opportunity for Montgomery to see if he can't get a few extra yards, and had he been able to get around Frank Corral, the tag right there on his ankles, he might have gone up that sideline.
He replaces Dino Hall, injured earlier this year. The little scat back to the Browns who has created so much excitement there at Municipal Stadium and around the NFL. Mike Pruitt straight ahead to the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7. Phil Murphy, 6'5" and 300-plus pounds. The defensive tackle, number 95, made the stop. And Murphy, we were witness to an incident in practice at the Rams practice earlier this week. Murphy became very angry at a play, as players often will. Went to the sidelines and kicked one of those rubber yard markers. He put it about 50 feet up into a eucalyptus tree. And I tell you about, you don't want to get him kicking mad, because he really one of the better kicks I've seen in Ram history. Pruitt spinning out to the 34-yard line. Johnny Johnson securing the tackle. Let's go back to New York for this NFL update.
Okay, Dick, this is Byron Day back here in New York. The Seattle Seahawks have just forced a turnover. San Diego's quarterback Dan Fouts is hit as he drops back. Mike White recovers a fumble. The Seahawks are in business on San Diego's 5, 17-7 in the third.
One thing about that Seattle ball club, you never have too many points against them, because they always seem to be coming back and have a chance to draw within a touchdown of the Chargers if they can convert. Meanwhile, the Browns have a critical 3rd and 4, and the toss is outside to Pruitt. And what a defensive play by the Rams' Joe Harris. Has he done a job filling in for George Andrews?
Harris responsible for containment on the outside, upfield aggressively. One of the quickest linebackers on the Rams team. You'll see it yourself. Pruitt looks like he's going to have room outside, but Harris just moving as quickly as possible, gets away from the block right there of number 68, Robert E. Jackson, and drives him right out of bounds for a loss.
So on 4th down and 4, Cox in to kick. Irvin deep at the Ram 25. Really has a low drop, doesn't he? Has that hand right down on his foot when he delivers from the 20. And out at the 26-yard line goes Irvin. A return the first punt for a touchdown in some 20 years for the Rams. Monday night in Chicago. So 21-10, Rams with the ball. The back of his neck, and apparently when Jim Youngblood sacked him, he got him up around the head.
Yeah, it looked like he hit the ground hard, and we saw him with smelling salts earlier. That's the second time we've seen him with ice on his neck.
Mike Goldman on first down for the Rams, and not much there off the left side.
Stop at the 27. A quiz for the professor, Dick.
All right.
Question for you. Only 2 teams in the National Football League carry just 1 kicker on their roster. Who are they?
Well, Frank Corral, that's the easy one, the Los Angeles Rams.
And the other one, and I'll give you a little help with the other one, also an NFC team. And they actually have 2 kickers on
Would
their
you
roster.
please repeat that question? It's the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. Danny White's the corner. He might have to run specialist.
Goldman hit from behind, just shy of the 35-yard line, and that's going to be just short of the first down. Here's the answer.
Here's the answer, yeah.
Dallas and Los Angeles. Of course, Danny White, since he does the punting, you only need Rafael Septien. And, of course, Corral for the Rams. Well, you've been studying.
Quick shot. Robert L. Jackson driving hard. A little bit late, but you see why quarterbacks get a lot of money. If you want to come and stand in there and let those people bang on you, I don't know.
And that's you're really defenseless. You're just standing there asking a big man to, well, there's testimony.
Testimony on the other sideline right there.
3rd down, a short 3, and there's Bryant to pick up the first down at the 37-yard line.
I don't think I've ever seen Haden sharper than he's been today.
He has been outstanding and has used his back so well. So it's football game, or week 5 of this NFL season, but baseball now. We go to the playoffs. It'll be Dodgers and Houston. Joe and Tony calling the action beginning Tuesday night on NBC. I'll be joining Tom Seaver in Montreal on Wednesday for the Eastern playoffs between the Montreal Expos and the world champion Philadelphia Phillies. That begins on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Dodgers in Houston. NBC will follow the National League playoffs. First down play to Bryant. And Cullen is wrestling. Going to make a wish there.
And there goes the flag.
Matthews and Jackson had him by a leg aside, going to make a wish.
They also had his face mask, I think. And that's not the way it's supposed to be done.
So the personal foul against Cleveland, and a big 15 yards goes all the way to the Cleveland 46-yard line.
Personal foul, 56. First down.
Obviously upset at the way things are going for his team. Robert L. Jackson wants to take things into his own hands, but you just simply can't use that face mask to pull a man down. You see him right there jerking the mask of Cullen Bryant, and that was deemed to be excessive and marched off for the maximum foul.
Here's a reverse to Denard. 40, 30, and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Knocked out of bounds finally.
One of our cameramen took a shot on the sideline. Whoa!
Roger still cranking it out.
Roger, are you all right?
Hey, our MVP, Roger Harbaugh, he said it's the game of great field-level shots today. Hey, listen, he'll have to be on the injured reserve if he stays that close to the edge.
He'll have to go to the training room tomorrow. Let's see what kind of shot he got before he was so rudely interrupted. I think this is from Roger's camera. Denard doing a great job of escaping down the sideline. That wasn't from his camera, but you saw him spilled.
Gilman takes the handoff and is tripped up shy of the 20-yard line by the Browns. So it's Paul McDonald tuning up the left-handed backup to Sipe. Here's an update in New York.
Okay, Dick, this is Byron Day back here in New York. The Chargers have denied the Seahawks from scoring. David Hughes stopped a yard out. San Diego still in control, 17-7, now in the fourth quarter. Dick?
Thank you, Byron. That reverse by Denard, interestingly, is the longest run of the season for the Rams, 21 yards. And a Brown is down on the play. It appears to be number 90, Marshall Harris. So with timeout here at Anaheim Stadium, the Rams trying to run that clock down and get points as well as they lead at 21-10 with 10:47 left.
Why is our copier smarter than theirs? Compare the Savin 883 on my left with the Xerox 4000 on my right. You'll find that only one has a microprocessor and an electronic brain that can transform an unclear original into a clear copy. Only one has a fully automatic document feed, and only one has an energy-saving automatic shutoff. On all these points, one copier outsmarts the other. The Savin.
Marshall Harris went off the field under his own power, and we see that we have power on the sidelines as well. The offensive line, let's watch them from this point of view. Roger Harbaugh got it cranked up again in focus. Haden down the middle. And almost intercepted. As it was intended for Billy Waddy, and some quick reactions by the Browns. They able to get a fingernail on that one, deflected wide. Appeared to be Darden, 27, who made the play.
We showed you that panel with the names of the offensive linemen because normally, all too often, they only get their names mentioned when they make a mistake, but they have done an extraordinary job of protecting Pat Haden and blocking for the runners today, and they certainly have had more than their share in putting those points on the board. Nice to be able to pat them on the back and say, well done.
Tom Darden, the all-time Cleveland pass interceptor with 43, including one this year, and did a fine job of breaking up what appeared to be a touchdown. Safety blitz. Picked up nicely by that Ram line, and it's not complete. Preston Denard unable to pull that one in. But again, even with two defensive backs coming, that Ram line protected Haden. Now to New York in this update.
Okay, Dick, things are still going badly for the world champion Oakland Raiders. Ira Matthews fumbles his punt of Luke Prestridge. It led to nothing, but it's their sixth turnover in today's game. The Broncos in front 17-0 in the fourth. Dick?
Thank you, Byron. How about that? The Raiders, who went over 200 consecutive games scoring at least something, and they've been shut out almost 2 consecutive games. Corral, this would be a 38-yard field goal attempt, and it is good. He didn't hit it completely, but good enough. And that gives the Rams a full 2-touchdown lead. 24-10. Next Sunday, we invite you to start us on NBC with Brian Gumbel, NFL 81, all the highlight scores, late-breaking news from all the games, and regional NFL action. Good lineup of games for you. New England at New York against the Jets, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. You'll see Cincinnati, Baltimore, Seattle, Houston, and Oakland, Kansas City. Some outstanding action again next Sunday on NBC as we follow the NFL. And let's see, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. That's always a great match.
Haden's still hot. Still hot, Dick. Haden's still hot about missing that pass. He thought he should have had another touchdown.
He's had a near perfect day. He hadn't missed many. He's 20 for 30, 66.7%. 24-10, and now the definition of the game quite clear for the Cleveland Browns. They must score a couple of times and get both extra points to fight for a tie, and they got 10.5 minutes in which to do it.
And it would appear that they'll have to do it without Bryant Sipe, because we saw Paul McDonald warming up on the sideline. Let's see if that is indeed going to be the case. We won't know until they trot onto the field.
Corral, like Haden, has had his best game of the year. He has kicked very well. Even when he doesn't hit it cleanly, he gets the 38-yard field goal. Montgomery and White at the other end. This one's a little shorter, and it's Charlie White coming up to the 15-yard line. Forgot the ball. And just was covered at the 15. His streaking downfield was Ivory Sully, number 37.
That's one area that the Rams have tried to improve themselves in. They were dead last in the NFL in yardage given up on kickoffs. They've done a better job of containing Cleveland today, and Bryant Sipe is in the game. Apparently feels he's well enough to go back in there, but obviously not 100% after that rather aggressive tackle by Jim Youngblood. Speaking of quarterbacks, Dick, I have a question for you. I'll ask it after this play regarding the number of quarterbacks carried on the rosters of NFL teams.
The Rams for a moment this week had 4 on their roster. Sipe back to the air, and once again Charles White unable to find the handle. Tried to run before he caught the ball.
There's no question the most important man on the field is the quarterback, and there are a lot of teams that carry 3 of the quarterbacks. So you said the Rams had 4 earlier this year, or earlier this week. They have 3 on their roster. How many teams in the NFL do you think carry just 2 quarterbacks?
Well, let's see, the Oakland Raiders carry only 2, and the Browns carry only 2.
Just an educated guess.
I would say, like, out of the league, maybe 4 or 5.
10 carry just 2 quarterbacks, and 7 of those 10 are in the AFC.
I'm surprised at that. I'll ask you what you think about that and why you came up with that question. Pruitt to the right. Sipe. Newsom. No, out of bounds. Only got 1 foot down. That's such a delicate timing play, and Newsom was being covered well by Johnny Johnson.
Sipe again paying the price. We're waiting until the last second to release this football. He's leveled Nolan Cromwell, and Cromwell, a gentleman, just hit him as hard as he had to hit him to knock him down, and nothing else. But the reason I was curious is I was wondering who the 3rd quarterback for Cleveland would be, and I was asking a couple of questions and then asked the question, how many teams only carry 2 quarterbacks? But that's a surprisingly high number.
It is. David Logan, I guess, is the emergency quarterback.
He's the emergency quarterback. 2 quarterbacks, I think, for Cleveland.
Well, he's not caught a pass today, and that may indicate that he's really hurting from that rib injury. Down the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Reggie Rucker. So Sipe unable to move the club in this series. We're going to move from the west to the east and New York.
Thanks much. In Miami, the Jets have just tied the ball game up at 21-all with an assist from the Dolphins. Richard Todd's 15-yard touchdown pass batted around by the Dolphins. Wesley Walker comes up with it.
Well, that's certainly true, and it seems to hold out. There are some teams that just have tremendous, inordinate success against other teams, and that's the case with the Jets in Miami. They've won 6 straight games against Miami, and now they've tied it up against the Dolphins. Cox from his own 5-yard line, end over end. Takes a Browns bounce. Irvin sacked down from behind. He didn't hear the man coming from behind, Willis Adams, and he can fly, and caught Irvin for a loss on the punt return. 43-yard kick and a minus on the yardage return. Timeout, 9:57 left.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Schlitz is downright good. I think it's even better than Miller.
I'm from Germany. I do think I know a bit about beer, and this is really good beer.
Hey, I'm loyal to my bud, but I think Schlitz beat it out.
I like the taste of Schlitz. It's as simple as that.
In 40 years as a master brewer, This Schlitz is my smoothest. Have you tasted my Schlitz?
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
You've read about it, you've heard about it. But until now, you've never had a better chance to own it. It's the RCA video disc player. The remarkable machine that plays records of movies, concerts, and more on your TV. And to help you be one of the first to own one, RCA is offering a $50 introductory bonus. Buy one now and you'll get $50 direct from RCA. What's more, a special 10-day money-back offer is available at selected RCA dealers. But hurry, you may never have a better chance.
9 minutes and 57 seconds left. The Browns unable to move with the ball, and you just know what the Rams are going to try to do here. They're going to try to consume as much time as possible and have been able to move it rather effectively here in the fourth quarter, leading 24-10. Full house backfield, but Waddy now shifts out to the wing right and then goes in motion. And then misdirection, it's Cullen Bryant to the 50-yard line. He gave Tom Garden a 5-yard ride. First down, Los Angeles, and stayed in bounds.
Fine block by number 72, Kent Hill, big left guard. Cullen Bryant, look at the legs. We talked about his physique earlier, his upper body development. But he and Mike Pruitt both have those huge calves. Almost a trademark for those big fullbacks.
73 yards now for Bryant, who's had a good afternoon, complimenting the accurate passing of Pat Haden. Goulman, big hole off the left side. 10 yards he's got. He's got about 17 before he's dragged down at the 33.
And another new face in that Ram lineup, Doug France, 77. We sure haven't seen much of him during this season. Kept out with injuries. This one goes right in behind big 77. And Goulman doing a good job of getting outside. For 27, Darden missed him cleanly. That's the most speed I've seen out of Goulman. Not known as a fast runner.
There's big Doug France from Ohio State, now lined up at left tackle. Hill at left guard, the center Rich Saul, Hare and Slater on the right side. First down play. Goulman again inside track. And he's close to the 25-yard line. The Rams now ripping holes in that Cleveland defense, leading 24-10. And they're already in field goal range, leading by 2 touchdowns.
This is a frustrating time in the game for a defense, though, Dick. You know you've got to get a turnover. You almost have to take the ball away. You begin doing things that are not good percentage things defensively. You start trying to tackle the football. You start trying to make the big play instead of playing your defense. And very often it gets you in trouble.
Drew Hill in the game, number 87. He's wide right. Just the bottom of your picture. Willie Miller to the left. So reserves on the outside for Haden. And he stays on the ground to Goulman. Browns guessing right defensively. Bruce Huther, a former Dallas Cowboy in the game, and on that tackle, number 58. There's Huther from University of New Hampshire. Acquired from the Cowboys this summer for a future draft.
Third and 2 yards.
Third down. And about 2 for the Rams. The clock is running. 7:24, 7:23 left. 63,924 used their tickets. A sellout of around 70,000 in Anaheim. Little delay to Goulman, and they were waiting for him. No gain. Other was in on the play, as was Jerry Shirk, veteran tackle, and Lyle Alzado. Malavese sends in the field goal unit, and a successful field goal by Corral would make it very tough on the Browns, who already trail by 14. From the 24, they'll spot it at the 31. This will be a 41-yard attempt by Corral. His longest is 40 this year. But he has capability up through 50. He kicks it high enough and long enough. It's good. Just about ends the party as the Browns fall behind by 17 with only 6.5 minutes remaining. Longest field goal of the year for Corral of 41 yards. Looks like a defeated team heading toward the sidelines. There are mathematics.
Don Good, number 50, and I'm sure there is a great deal of disappointment. They had made such big strides after those early 2 losses. The defense had come back and played such a stunning game last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Sipe and the offense have not been ineffective here today, but they have not been able to control the ball as they have done so well early in the year. And the Rams have dominated the line of scrimmage, especially with that big offensive line. I think that's where the physical mismatch has been most obvious.
Now it's going to be interesting if indeed the Browns do not win. In the Central Division of the AFC, it'll be Cincinnati, Houston, and Pittsburgh. They all won today, or 2 of them won. Cincinnati lost, all 3-2, and the Browns will fall into last place 2-3, but only a game out. Highly competitive Central Division. And how about this final score? Denver 17, Oakland nothing. Oakland had scored in every game for 15 years, and then are shut out back-to-back by Detroit and by Denver. Montgomery. And a little scat back out to the 23-yard line. Let's run down all the scores for you for those that might have joined us late today here on NBC for our doubleheader. New England beat Kansas City, their first win of the year for the Patriots. Buffalo back in the winning side with a 23-17 victory at home against Baltimore. Dallas upset its first loss. St. Louis winning 2017 on a final minute field goal. The Bears' final minute try to tie failed, and Minnesota wins by 3. 49ers are 3-2, and Washington 0-5 after a 30-17 San Francisco win. Get the rest after this play. Sipe on first down. To Rucker. Complete at the 39-yard line, and that will be another first down. Rod Perry made the tackle. 16-yard play. The rest of the scores for you. Green Bay wins at New York 27-14. Cincinnati defeated by Houston. A big punt return by Rocha. 17-10 as the Oilers move into a tie for first place. Sipe hurrying against that clock. Feeds it to Pruitt. He can get up and run, but can't. At the 45-yard line, and the clock continues to run. Jim Youngblood secured the tackle. 5:44 left. Rams lead 27-10. Other scores. Pittsburgh 3 in a row now for Chuck Noll and the Steelers as they win at New Orleans 20-6. The Jets have tied Miami in the 4th quarter at the Orange Bowl at 21. Draw to Pruitt. Read well by the Rams. He gains only a yard. And the rest of the NFL scores for you. Denver shutting out Oakland 17-0, and the Broncos, what a job Dan Reeves has done with that club. That's twice they've beaten Oakland this year. San Diego leading by 17-10 in the 4th quarter down south. And Tampa Bay over Detroit 21-10 in the 4th quarter. So you're up to date on all the scores.
Sipe has been going without a huddle. I think this is about as early as I've ever seen a team go to 2-minute drill with 5:40, well down to 4 something. Well over 5 minutes when he started.
Now recognizing they need 3 possessions in order to get back in it now, and it's going to be very close to first down as Pruitt is finally dragged down of bounds.
He's marked with the first down. That's the kind of confidence that Sipe has in that passing game, and for him, those are just long handoffs. Lofted it right out there. Pruitt did a good job of keeping his hands locked on that football.
Got the first down, but not the timeout as he was ruled still in bounds. Progress to the 50. So Sipe without a huddle with the clock running at 4:28.
Now they're calling for the measurement. Well, that's going to be a little difficult. They've already moved the sticks. A little bit of embarrassment on the sideline.
So now the officials call time at 4:28 to untangle that mess.
Now they still have a marker. They leave that marker on. You'll see the official, number 6, setting a circular white disc on the middle of the line. And then they'll mark it out, carry it out.
I want to thank our sponsors, Dennis Mnuchin, Harry Lake, Chuck Panama, Joe Costanza, Statistics. Larry Cirillo, our producer, Ted Nathanson, our director. Aesthetically, we've had some nice moments today, and for the Rams, we've had more than just that, leading 27-10. The Browns have a first down, but they're in a hurry-up mood with 4:28 left. Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. There have been better days.
I'm sure he's known his share of adversity, but he's also seen some great excitement and knows this is a team that can come back. I'm sure he's not discouraged.
Well, even with defeat, they're only a game out of first place, so it's a long time until December. Sipe with plenty of time to throw, and find his receiver Calvin Hill out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So the veteran Calvin Hill was a #1 draft pick of the Cowboys back in '69, and a man who, as they say, no matter what he elects to do after he hangs up the uniform, is going to be highly successful. He's a real man.
Expects to be in Washington after he retires. Says this is his last season. Talked to him briefly before the game. He is a quality man.
He has a bright political future. And also says he wouldn't mind working in the front office of a National Football League team. Some feel he has the qualities that would make an assistant general manager on his way to a full-time GM.
Got to believe that whatever he chooses to do, he'll be successful at it, as he has been at playing football.
Second and inches. And Hill over the top to get the first down. But of course, that also means the clock will continue to run. And it's at the 4-minute mark.
Unusual to see him run the ball. We have seen very little of him during this season. The job that he had done in the past of being a receiver, especially on long yardage situations, now mostly done by Greg Pruitt.
It was only his second carry of this season, each for 2 yards. Sipe to the end zone to Newsom. Newsom living up to his nickname, the Wizard of Oz.
And they went right at Nolan Cromwell. When you could steal one out of Cromwell's back pocket, you've got to feel good about it. And they did exactly that. Cromwell playing man-to-man, nose-to-nose with Newsom. And Sipe just slipped it in there. Watch the pass here. Look how calm Sipe is. He launches that ball. Now watch this pass. Cromwell is all over Newsom, but that ball just drops right out of the sky, right into Newsom's hands, and it's an excellent catch. He lost his feet, still kept his concentration.
Try for point by David Jacobs out of Paul McDonald's hold. And it's no good.
That's the first time he's missed an extra point all year, Dick. I've got to believe that David Jacobs may have thrown a few shovels full of dirt out of his grave today.
Or on his grave.
Well, something.
Jacobs misses the extra point, and it's 27-16. So now a field goal and a touchdown won't get the Browns a tie. They've got to get 2 touchdowns, and there's only 3:37 left. Meanwhile, Ozzie Newsome, who started today as the leading receiver for the Browns with 23, a couple for touchdowns. He's been so consistent, 6, 6, 5, and 6 catches each game. And Newsome today, with that touchdown grab, has his 3rd catch and 80 yards in receptions. You know, I liked what he said in the Cleveland papers this week. You know, many of you read about the fact someone was highly critical of Paul Bear Bryant, said that he was biased or prejudiced in his coaching at the University of Alabama. Ozzie Newsome, an All-American for Bryant at Alabama, came to his total defense and said, I was treated properly and was able to stand up and be counted. I liked him for that.
Onside kick coming.
And it's bobbled around. A free ball, and the Rams are very fortunate to get it at the 50-yard line.
Perfectly executed onside kick. You kick it so that ball will bounce into the air. It did that, but the Rams got the lucky end of the bounce and ended up with it.
So the Rams, by gaining possession with 3:32 left, have it at the 50-yard line. And with the Rams well in front, and we've got a tremendous struggle going on down in the Orange Bowl. In a moment, for everyone except Cleveland and the Los Angeles areas, we're going to be switching the network down to the final minutes of that Miami Jets game. But for the moment, we stay here, and that can't be said for many of the fans who are heading for the exits. Haden will take his time between plays. Give it to Bryant, the man who rarely fumbles. But often fumbles, and he's to the 45 and 5 yards, and the clock runs, and the Browns, nope, they'll call time here to stop the clock at 3:24.
Pat Haden has to be feeling a little vindicated during his showing last week. His best, certainly has far surpassed that with his passing today and his play calling. He's kept that Cleveland defense off balance all day long, converted those tough situations, done a fine job on third down, and has kept his team in control. We'd have to give credit as well to that offensive unit and the defensive unit. The Rams have had, I'm sure it's their best showing of the year. They're an interesting team, up and down. You can't always tell where they are or where they're going.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Brian Sipe, Reggie Rucker. We're talking about Sam Retigliano and what happened last year in the playoffs. And when Sipe threw that critical fourth down play on the icy fields of Cleveland, and Retigliano, a man with great compassion who puts football in its proper place in terms of the total perspective. And when Sipe came off the field, all he said to him was, "I love you, Brian." Out of bounds, Willie Miller, and that's a first down. Let's go to New York and Byron Day.
Okay, Dick, we've got a Hummer down in Miami. Don Strock completes a 24-yard touchdown pass to Matt Moore. Moore with over 150 yards of receptions. Miami moves out ahead, 28-21 in the fourth.
Boy, how well Don Shula's backup quarterbacks have done through the years. Earl Morrill and Don Strock now. 28-21. Gilman is protecting the ball, but not running into a lot of brown jerseys, and he plows his way for about 5 yards to the 32.
Dick, as a postscript to your story about Sipe and that pass that ended their season so abruptly, he was criticized strongly for throwing that pass, and yet, if you look back at their season, that's exactly the kind of pass they'd thrown all year to get themselves into the playoffs, and I don't know that Sipe would have called it any other way. I don't know that he could have thrown it any other way, and I felt the criticism of the call and of the execution of the play were totally unjust.
And no one would have ever expected that kind of response from a coach who knew he had just lost a chance for the Super Bowl, telling his quarterback his true feelings. A reminder, baseball just around the corner. The playoffs begin Tuesday night here on NBC. Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek will have the Dodgers and the Astros from the Astrodome. And then on Wednesday, I'll be joined by Tom Seaver. We'll be in Montreal at Olympic Stadium as the Expos host the world champion Philadelphia Phillies. We invite you to follow the National League Division Series here on NBC all next week, and then the National and American League playoffs the following week. Second and 5. Gilman to the 29-yard line. It'll be short of a first down, but the clock is now running to the 3-minute mark. 3 minutes left. This time is called by the Browns at 2:59. 27-16 the score. And there's Retigliano, the 49-year-old native of Brooklyn, New York.
Sam had an excellent record against NFC teams coming into this game. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but something like 9-2. Joe, can you look that for
9-2, 11-2. It was.
Yeah, very heavily in favor of the Cleveland Browns, and I think he really felt that they were in a position to knock the socks off the Rams today. He was a confident man when I talked to him yesterday, and again briefly today. But the Rams, I think, surprised him a little bit in how confident they came into this game, and I think especially young Pat Haden. They had expected Haden to be down after the barrage that he had suffered, and certainly that has not been the case. He has had his best game of the year and one of his best in many years.
Merlin, we talked at the start of the game about the offenses of these teams and the fact that Cleveland had improved its rushing game with Charles White, but he really has been kept quiet by the Ram defense, and indeed the Rams have outrushed Cleveland 192 yards to 78. They've controlled the ball. They've taken a page out of the Browns book today, and that's reflected in the 27-16 score. There's Charles White. He has to be a little disappointed coming back to his home base and really hasn't had a lot to say about this game. They had the blanket on White. Looking for a first down is Gilman. And he's knocked out of bounds on the 24-yard line. A first down, Los Angeles, and now it becomes accidental. As the Browns have at one timeout left plus the 2-minute warning, but the Rams now have another series of downs. Mike Gilman, one of those guys you like to have on your club, comes in, doesn't seem to make any mistakes, always gives you that 3-4 yards. Rams country it has been.
Certainly is the case when they're winning. I can tell you that.
We welcome those fans who have been watching the Denver Broncos and Oakland Raiders. Denver winning that game 17-0. We're in Anaheim, California, and that's Cullen Bryant of the Los Angeles Rams driving to the 17-yard line. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Time running out, less than 3 minutes left in this game. And the Los Angeles Rams, after falling behind early 3-0, have had this game quite well in command against the Cleveland Browns. And they're showing that right now as they run out the clock against the Browns. Both teams enter the game 2-2. The Rams, with a victory, go right back in the thick of things in the NFC West. And the Browns, even if they should lose, will be only 1 game behind 3 other adversaries who will be tied for first place in the AFC Central at 3-2. To the 11-yard line, and another first down. As Haden staying on the ground, picking up the first down at the 2-minute warning. At the 2-minute warning. At NFL games this fall, we're going to be treated to some of the most exciting finales from NFL history. They're called fantastic finishes. And coming up, our first of this 1981 season. Browns territory, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KWWL TV, Waterloo, Cedar Rapids.
Just 2 minutes remaining, and we'd like to welcome those viewers that have just joined us. The Browns and the Rams, and the score are 27-16 Los Angeles. The Flintstones will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time. Gooman with a toss from Haden is inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, while Alcedo, Don Good leading the defensive charge. But the clock is running.
Rams taking advantage of that big forward wall. I think man for man on the average, the biggest in the NFL. And certainly utilizing the size of their backs, Gooman and Cullen Bryant, to control the football. And those are painful first downs for that Cleveland defense. Knew that their only chance was to get the Rams stopped, get them stopped quickly. The Rams have controlled the football and the clock. It's winding down at 1:22.
Big game for both teams because they both go on the road against tough opponents. Cullen Bryant to the 6-yard line. In fact, the Rams now with a 3-2 mark will go on the road at Atlanta, the Western Division NFC champions of last year. Then they go to Dallas and then to the improved San Francisco 49ers. So 3 straight games on the road for Ray Malavasi. And Cleveland has a date in Pittsburgh next Sunday with their rivals, the Steelers. And of course, that highly competitive AFC Central lead seems to change hands every week.
Those are about as strong a traditional rivalries as these two teams have, too. The Rams with a very personal feeling about the Dallas Cowboys, who eliminated them many times from playoff contention. And, of course, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, great natural rivals and bitter personal rivals.
Now, Bryant with 30 seconds left tackled. We'd like to thank those who have brought the telecast today. The executive producer of NBC's football is Don Ohlmeyer, the coordinating producer Ted Nathanson. Telecast of today's game produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Ted Nathanson, technical director Ray Figelski, associate director Ray Benassi. Final seconds tick off. Don't you wander away, because we have an exciting finish building in Miami's Orange Bowl. The final score here, the Rams 27, Cleveland 16. Dick Enberg for Merlin Olsen. Now let's join Bob.